Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with DaDirector on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with DaDirector on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Pelican Brief, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse
Real
Radio.
Talk.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
For pop R&B artist Jamela.
I pick Kelly. Yeah!
In the morning, please?
No, I think I want to handle this right now. You can give your time to the studio boy, but I think your man can get a few minutes. All right? Hey, don't walk away from me.
You're hurting me. Stop, please.
Get in the car.
Up and down this roller coaster, around in circles.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Real Talk. You listen to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I'm the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. Real Talk is brought to you by Dollhouse Radio and Dan Morrell, and we broadcast live via the World Wide Web on blogtalkradio.com, on facebook.com, on YouTube, the IE Network, youtube.com/the IE Network, and also on Twitter via Periscope. Today is the 5th of October, the year 2020. Another year. Here we go. It's October again. It is, you just saw the commercial from Jamela, Love and Hate. It is, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So if you have the opportunity, the thing is, some people, almost more people than you know, I can almost guarantee you know somebody, whether you are aware of not or not. I can almost guarantee you know somebody that has been through a domestic violence or abuse situation. So with Jamela, Love and Hate video is out on all platforms as of yesterday. The extended cut of Love and Hate, I just showed the commercial for it. It is now available on all platforms. You could check it out. It's a 12-minute short film / long video, extended video. You know, think a Thriller, any like Michael Jackson long video. It has acting and stuff in it, and it's helped raise awareness for domestic violence and raise awareness against domestic violence, I should say, or about domestic violence. Also, it's October, man. That's my birthday month. Kings are born in October. And God willing, in less than 10 days, I will be turning 45 years of age. See how that works out. And I just graduated, so that was cool. October 2nd made me officially a Full Sail graduate. So Cool. I'm going to take a month off and I'm going to go right into my master's for creative writing. You know, see how that works out. And yeah, so there's a few things. A couple things we're going to get to today. Hopefully, Kev joins us. Haven't seen him yet. Get Kev to join us. We'll be able to do our verses, our movie verses. Movie verses today, hopefully, is our next round of movie verses is Sandra Bullock versus Julia Roberts. So should be really fun, interesting thing to do. With these two ladies, both have a lot of films, and I tell you, this one was tough for me because I was never a rom-com person. But I find myself realizing that maybe early in my years I were, because I saw a lot of these movies. And I'm sitting there like, wow, I did see this movie. And then some of them I had to go back and play some of the trailers to kind of remind me. And I'm like, no, I saw it. So sounds good to me. We'll have that. Hopefully, if we have the right amount of people, we'll be able to pull that off. And what else we got going today? Well, there's really that. Talk about some movie news, of course. Not a lot of movie, Disney. I know that Disney pushed back a lot of their films, almost all of their films. A lot of people did. Bond was pushed back. Boy. It's something, boy. The theaters, and I think as a result of that, almost directly as a result of that, Cineworld is now shutting down all 543 of its Regal Cinemas venues throughout the U.S. So it's got to be because you got Disney that pushed back films, you got Universal that pushed back films, Bond. That was really the only thing left that was it didn't get pushed back. Like all of the Disney films got pushed back. Some of the other films, I think Wonder Woman was pushed back to 2021. So, like a lot of the films that was expected to come out the end of this year got pushed back. So, there you have it. So, what else are they supposed to do? That's right. Joseph Tanner says, happy Monday night. Yeah, happy Monday night to you too, Joseph. Appreciate you joining, as usual. And yeah, man, we'll talk about that. There's really no movie stuff to talk about. Sit down the movies. I'll tell you one thing. Speaking of Regal, these dudes. So I had the Regal app. These dudes, had shut the app. Suspended the app because there was no movies when COVID first hit really bad. So I said, all right, cool. We suspended because I was going to cancel the membership anyway. So I figured, okay, they're suspending it, so I won't cancel it yet. Because hopefully COVID would go away and we'd be able to go back to the movies. That was early in the going. I didn't know what was going on. That was before I decided COVID isn't going away and I'm not going back to the movies no time soon. So, but I forgot to cancel it because I wasn't going anymore. So just like last week, these jokers restarted my membership and they charged me for a month. Now it's like 20 something bucks a month, but I'm like $20 a month. So they recharged me. It was 1 month they charged me, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then they sent me something because it's freaking Tenet, which is like the only movie out really, locally at least, and at least the only movie really worth going to see. So They're like, oh yeah, you can go say, and I'm like, wait a minute, y'all charging me these $20 a month? You gonna start charging me again? I said, no, cancel my service, refund my money. You know, these son of a mamas emailed me back and was like, oh yeah, we canceled your membership, but we're not going to be able to refund your money. I'm like, what? Yeah, okay. I got 2 words for you other than suck it. My 2 words for you is charge back. So, once upon a time, I used to work in the chargeback department of Chase Bank. I know exactly all of the rules and regulations and how that goes. This will most definitely be a chargeback when I dispute it. So, they must be crazy. And then now I see this, that they're going to be shutting down their theaters. Are you serious? And you charge me $22 or whatever it was? Oh, hell no. That ain't happening. Not going down. So I need my money back. Need my money back. And I will get it back. So there we have it. So you listen to Real Talk with the director of the Jedi Council. I'm the director. Brought my Jedi Council with me, at least one of the 2. You don't believe me? Here that man goes. Mama, there goes that man. What's up, Ralph?
What's going on, everybody? Hello.
What's going on, man? What's going on, man? Yeah, man. Regal bugging right now. They tripping. And they just try to charge me. I was like, yo, how you gonna charge me? And then I read this thing about them shutting down their theaters, and they still charge me $22 for my Regal app, and told me they were not going to refund me. Like what?
Remember about a year ago? What was that? The one that where
movie pass?
Yeah, and remember what I said on the show? Like, you guys don't know y'all couldn't see. I said, y'all don't know my struggle. Give me my money.
Yeah.
The very next day after I signed up for it, they went into bankruptcy. They tried to say, well, the $120 we took, we're going to keep. I was like, no.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
they people
How
are
you
crazy.
Gonna take $20 and I didn't even you guys talk about you go into bankruptcy, you're gonna charge me $20 and I haven't even gotten the card yet. Like, come on.
Wow, you hadn't even gotten your card.
I hadn't even gotten the card yet.
Oh,
and then the funny thing is, after I canceled it, went through this whole process where they got my money back. They wound up still sending me the card.
Oh man!
But I couldn't use it because nobody was accepting it anymore.
Yeah, I can't with these.
But the bigger issue of Regal Cinemas closing. Look, you see, you and Kev, y'all make fun of me when I be saying these things, right. But I kept telling you it was the writing on the wall, right? Once Disney made the decision to push back, once again, Black Widow, movies. Everybody was going to follow suit, and now everybody's doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, freaking Bond, and Bond was the deal breaker because they were, the theaters didn't make that decision until they found out Bond was pushed back, because that was like the only film left that was, that someone would deem worth taking the risk, going to the movie theater to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say this because last show we had this whole long discussion about the Milan thing. I said about Black Widow. Right. Now I'm gonna say this once again. Yeah. What I said that I did go to the movies last week to go see Tenet.
Right.
Right. It's 2.5 hours long and it's a good film. I'm still trying to figure out the ending of it because it's another Chris Nolan mind screw. I don't know if the last half hour is a movie that's going forwards and backwards at the exact same time. I need to see it again, but that'll be for DVD. But the litmus now, Tenet to date has grossed about $40 million in the U.S.
40?
Good number, way under for Chris Nolan.
Well, of course, we all know
way
that.
Under.
Yeah, yeah. But considering that's a pretty good number,
pretty damn good. But the litmus test of what would really have got people to come back in the theaters would have been No Time to Die. That really would have been the test. If No Time to Die would have brought in anywhere between $60 to $80 million, and that would at least gave the theaters the sign that okay, maybe people would be put some of these tent poles, stop delaying them until whenever. Because realistically speaking, even though they said that Black Widow thing is delayed until this date next year, it's still an until because they keep moving it further and further back.
Yeah.
But somebody has got to step forward and say, look, we got to put one of our tentpole movies, one of the surefire blockbusters we know that people are going to see, we got to put it into theater. Because the next movie that really would have came up that might have did that was Soul. And that brings you back to the Disney argument, which I had totally forgot about Soul when I said about Mulan. I said that Black Widow was going to be the litmus test. No, the litmus test really would have been Soul.
I forgot about that too, Ralph. I forgot about that too.
Because Soul had much more of an upside than what Mulan did. It really did. Yeah. Right? And it's the cartoon that would have got parents, which were parents bringing their kids into the theaters. And you still would have had the adults that want to see it because it was a Pixar movie. Right? So that would have been a litmus test. So the litmus test for this is not Tenet. It really would have been No Time to Die. Now that you push this back, now Regal is sitting saying we're going to shut our theaters down. Now, one of two things going to happen. He's like, if they do it, then in the next couple of days, and it might even now be hours, AMC is going to sit there and say the same thing. Then you're going to have Alamo Draft House saying the same thing. We're going to shut down, right? That's all these. The worst part is that you have all these people that work for the movie theaters that will now become unemployed until whenever.
Till further notice. Yeah.
Now, the second thing happens is that if you guys keep pushing stuff back 2021, what makes you think you're going to have any place to put the movie back into? What makes you think that the doors will ever open again? So now what do you do? Then your hope becomes, hey, Disney put Mulan onto their streaming service. Maybe we should go ahead and stream service. Well, listen, as of right now, Paramount, Sony, do not have streaming services. Universal has one, Disney has one, right? And I think and
Paramount with Sony would have to go to like Amazon or something,
right?
You'd have to do something with Amazon, like what Universal did that already, right? They did it once already.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me. That's me for sure, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But movie theaters are going to lose massive amounts of money by sticking their films on the streaming service because one of their main revenue for making movies is now going. If and this is only if theaters shut their doors for good, your main revenue for making money in the theaters is now gone. Now you're going to have to depend on streaming service. You're going to have to depend on DVD and Blu-ray sales, right? And and if you want to sit there and say Redbox, the way people rent movies nowadays, even through Netflix, the way they did Netflix is now kind of sort of gone because Netflix is the one to run the program. But Redbox does not nearly have the kind of drawing power or market power that let's say when Blockbusters used to be around, when you knew you put a movie into a Blockbuster, you at least had 30, 45 days where people were going to want to see it and you were going to make a crap ton of money. That's gone. So all the studios have technically done is suffocate things. They've made it twice as difficult for themselves. One of these studios has got to put one of their tent poles into a theater to most importantly, save the movie going experience. Because now it's not a matter of delaying it back until now you got to save it.
Yeah.
Somebody has got to do the litmus test. And we got to put this thing.
Who's going to be the brave soul to do it? Is the question.
That's the question. Who is going to be the brave soul, and what film is going to be "quote unquote" the sacrifice? Because if you put it in there, there's a strong possibility that it's not going to make the kind of money that it normally would make during the summer, or whatever. So could it be Sony with Ghostbusters Rebirth? Could it be Paramount with Top Gun 2? Could it be Disney sitting there saying, you know what, we're going to bring Black Widow and push it back up into early January,
right?
You know. Because
Disney would seem like, to me, it seems like Disney would be the one to do it because they do have Disney Plus as a backup if it bombs in the theater. Like if it doesn't make money in the theater, they can always like immediately release it to Disney Plus and try to make up some of that money. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. They seem like it's logical.
That's very true. They would make some of the money that Black Widow, like I said before on the last show. If you're already estimating that Black Widow has potential to make $1 billion, but it makes 300, the same amount that it did on Disney Plus. Even if it makes half of that, that's 500 million on Disney Plus. That's still $500 million that's gone because it didn't get in theaters. So once you throw in, and that 500 million is going to be domestic and foreign. That's a combined. But that's 100 million that's gone. DVD sales are not going to make that up. You sticking it onto signing contracts with HBO or whoever to show it down the line. ABC, Fox is not going to make that money up. You got to find some kind of way up. So now here's where the cascade effect goes. Eventually, studios are going to go back to filming. Right? Now, there's a bunch of productions that's halfway, like Batman, for example, that's halfway done. Right? They're not going back right now to do reshoots because everybody's scared of doing it. But here's what happened. Let's just sit there for the sake of this discussion. COVID gets obliterated tomorrow. Tomorrow. Studios are going to be far less willing to be dumping $300 million into a film when this crap may come back again. They're going to be less willing to do it. So no, you're not going to see movies heavy into CGIs. And for you and Kevin, all these extravagant ideas that Marvel have to make these comic book adaptations and saying do it faithfully to the book will be done because they're not, because Disney is not going to invest that money, and it's not the fact that they don't have confidence in the property. They don't have confidence in what's going on in real life, that people are going to really go into a theater and see this movie. It's all a bunch of dominoes. It's all this entire thing.
But I'd like to really, I'm gonna bring Kevin too, but the thing I'm gonna say about that is I don't disagree with you 100%. Welcome aboard, welcome back, Kev. The thing that I'm saying about that is it's really that's a very interesting topic to talk about, because the reason why I'm saying that is let's just say that let's say the theaters fold, right? Let's fast forward a year from now. Theaters decide to say that, I'm not saying I think this is going to happen, but I'm making a point. So theaters decide they're going to not open anymore. So now movie studios now are going to make movies to go, to deliver directly to home, whichever way they decide to do it, whether it's their own streaming, whether it's through Amazon, but it's like video on demand. That's the way they're going to now. That's the new, becomes the new norm, right? I really don't think once that method of delivery is solidified, I don't think they're gonna spend any less money on these films, because once because it all depends. See, right now, that method of delivery is a it's considered a temporary thing. That's why no one has went all in with it yet, because it still rivals the movie theaters right now. Even though we know COVID, blah blah blah, but the hope is that COVID goes away and we can get back to the theaters. That's the hope, right? So no one is really willing to say, okay, F it, we going all in with the video on demand, screw the theaters, whatever, right? But if it does get to that, this is kind of like responding to what you said about they're not going to, they're not going to spend the money to, like you say, be true to the comics, whatever. I don't think that's true. I think they just have to realize what they're doing and how they're doing it. Once that is solidified, they're not going to spend any less money because they'll know that this is how we got to deliver it. This is how we're going to, you know, push it from Jump Street, and the people are going to want to watch it because there's going to be no other way for them to watch it. So, you know.
I kind of see where you're going with that one, but here's why I'm saying it is that how many years did it look at the film budget traditionally over the course of the last 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 1991, right? For example, 1991. No, I'm sorry, 97. James Cameron caught all kinds of crap because he spent $300 million on Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
A property. Now, thankfully, that investment worked out. But back in '92, Kevin Costner spent $50 million to make Waterworld.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wanted to give him crap, and it didn't come anywhere near what it cost to make compared to what it got. Even though Waterworld, which I've never seen Waterworld, really give Waterworld a shot. It's not that bad a movie. It's kind of quirky, but it's not a bad movie. But to say the idea that you're going to spend $300 million on, I don't know, Avengers. No, I'm not even going to say. No, I'm not even going to say something that's established. Let's say you're going to spend $300 million on She-Hulk, for example. Okay, you've never really established that through everything else, and you're going to take the chance that you're going to have a streaming service, and your streaming service alone not only is going to get you back $300 million that you spent to make the movie, but it's got to push you into profit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, yeah, I know where you're going with that, but as far as that example goes,
right.
She-Hulk is going to be a series anyway.
But I'm just using
Plus. But I know you're using that as an example, something that you're just basically saying something that's not established. I would say, well, let's use the Eternals because that hasn't come out.
But wait! Before you said it, I'm only using She-Hulk as an example. There's a lot of movies that the companies make that are not have anything to do with comic books or friend, but still cost a crap ton of money.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
They're going to be less reluctant to sink that kind of cash into something when they're saying our chances of making profit is slim, could possibly be slim, because our main revenue to push this film out there is gone, which is the movie theater. No, I'm sorry, I don't care what movie it is. If you have the choice between putting it onto a streaming service or to the theaters, and COVID did not exist, you're always 9 times out of 10, you're going to make more money doing it movie theater and then a streaming service, because the streaming service is going to bring you your buffer of profit. The movie theater is going to give you your main profit. The streaming service movie theater give you this kind of profit. Streaming service give you this kind of profit. DVDs give you this, and everything else will give you this. Because you got to have a movie that pushes yourself into profit.
No,
right?
I understand. I understand where you're going with that. But here's my only. This is where I wrong. This is the only part where I don't agree. And I'll tell you. Now, if you're talking about comparison, because right now, obviously, the theater has always been the established way of delivering these movies. But like I said before, it's going to be a circumstantial type of thing. If and when that the streaming service or video demand doesn't have to be, because only a few of them have streaming services, but it's still video on demand. Once the video on demand becomes the way of delivering these movies, they're still going to make the same amount of money, and actually more, because once again, you're cutting out the money that you would have to split with the theaters. All right. You're cutting out some advertising, because you can advertise, like someone like Disney can advertise right on Disney Plus. They'll still advertise the movies on like commercials or whatever, they're on the internet, whatever. But for the most part, you're cutting out the split that you would have to split with the theaters. So in turn, you're actually going to make, and once again, when it's someone like Disney, you also have to factor in new subscribers that may come to the platform just to see this new film. So you're actually going to make more money. I'm saying once that's the only way you're able to deliver the film, they will make that money. I'm telling you. We did it before. I mean, we did the numbers before, Ralph. The numbers Don't lie.
But wait.
It's still just like the theater numbers. You do the theater numbers based on, right, what theater sales are and stuff like that, right? So compared to how many theaters open, there's more subscribers on the Disney platform, way more, maybe 3 times, maybe 5 times more subscribers on the platforms than there is theaters in the world.
Yeah, but see, there's a serious X factor that the two of you guys are forgetting about. Man. You just keep saying Disney, the movie.
I'm using them as an example, right, because they have a platform.
Right, but right there, they have a larger platform. Most people, if you really walked up to and asked them today, and you said, "Hey, did you know that Iron Man was a Marvel movie?" Sure, they know that. They would even know that Marvel is under Disney. But if I sat here and tell you and ask the average moviegoer, right? Yo, did you know that Top Gun was a Paramount movie? They would tell me no. And in the movie industry, most time it's monkey see, monkey do. Everybody else will have to catch up to speed to what Disney has already done.
You gotta adjust. They
gotta adjust.
They gotta adjust. So whether they go through another service, which I would just feel like they do, like what you said, they go ahead and do their own thing. Whatever way they do it, the point is this: whether you have a service, I just said that extra money only applies to like Disney or whatever because they have their own service. That's the extra money, like the streaming money. But what I'm saying is the regular money though, video on demand, whether they're selling it for $20, $30, whatever they're selling it for, even if they go through Amazon. I mean, Universal already did it, and they killed.
Wait. Now look. I'm gonna say this. I get the whole thing with Trolls. I really truly do. Trolls made what $100 million or whatever it made. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sit there and sneeze at that. Mm-hmm. But once again, it was Trolls. We're not talking Fast 9.
I know that, but Ralph, wait. You're just moving out the factors here. You're talking as if your point to me only really hits home if you're talking about competition, comparing the theaters to the streaming. We're talking now, let's just say this stretch, right? Let's just say this stretch that the theaters are closed. They decide to say that. They decide to say, you know what? Let's just go straight to VOD. We're not waiting for the theaters opening back up. Because remember, you started this scenario saying like, they may not open back up.
Right. But now you've also brought up another scenario. Choices. Okay. If we go to a movie theater on Friday, we could have the choice to go see Top Gun 2, Black Widow, and I don't know, Venom 2. You got the choice. You're gonna pick and choose which one you're gonna see. Nowadays, the average movie fan, if there's 3 major movies opening at one time, and you're going to a 8:00 show, and it's $15 plus. You're only going to go see one of those movies. And you might even go see one movie one weekend. Now imagine you talking about like each and every company has a streaming service. You got to pay $30 to see Top Gun. You got to pay $30 to go see Venom 2. You got to pay $30 to go see Black Widow. Which one are you really gonna pick? You're not going to spend $100 on all 3 different services. Now, if all 3 of these films were under the same banner, they were all Disney films. Like if it was Mulan and Toy Story 5 and Iron Man 6. Yes, I might spend it because it's all under Disney. But if I got to go to each separate streaming service, now my money is looking like, wait a minute, I got to go see Top Gun on Paramount. I got to go see Venom on Sony. I got to go to Mulan on Disney, and then the kids still want Netflix. And then if I want to see ESPN, I got to get that service. Now I'm getting all this extra thing, right? And some people that are getting service still have cable. So now you're adding all these extra charges. Now you're gonna start saying, wait, I gotta cut some of this stuff out because I just can't afford to constantly do it. And so because it's a movie that I really want to see, I really want to see Top Gun. But if I'm the casual person, and as Kevin said, you got a family, and you can only spend that one marquee, but you got 5 different streaming services bringing out a brand new movie that you've been dying to see because there's no longer a movie theater. Which one do you go with? That's your competition right there.
Mm-hmm.
Same way as we go to a movie theater now. I know, well, Kev might admit it, but Wes might admit it. Like a lot of us out there do the 2-for-1 dips. We go see one movie and we just kind of casually go woo 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 and walk into the other one.
Right.
That's you can't do that with streaming services now.
Obviously,
you can't do that. Those are
you can watch you can't see different unless it's you can't do that with streaming services
unless you got some cheat codes somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Up, down, left, right. No, you're not going to do that. So that's what those are the X factors that I'm talking. That's what I'm saying.
But think about what you're saying though.
Right.
What you're saying right there also works in the favor of the company because now they didn't lose that money.
No, but that's the thing. You still would lose money because even as you said, you and Kev did the numbers and we're gonna keep saying Milan. Milan took 320 million. That's what it took. In its international and on streaming service, it took $320 million, which is great. But think of that if it was released in the US and it took another $320 million in the US. Now you're at 640. So even if you cut in half of that other 320 because it was in US there, you got to cut that in half, right? That's still what $160 million that now is strictly profit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the money that you say, wait a minute, are we willing to lose that amount of money? We're not talking $10. We're talking what could be potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. And depending on the property, it could be $30 million or it could be $500 million. That's a lot of change to be worried about. That's what I'm saying. But this is all contingent if COVID-19 continues deep into, and not even talking about next year, into the next couple of years. Because if it does, then yes, everybody has got to be forced. Yeah. Now you're forced to change your methods. And frankly, it's October now. I'm really saying that by January, you guys got to revamp this completely. Because look, I know about a week or so ago, I was watching the news and it said Johnson & Johnson is working on a vaccine for this. That they're kind of close to it. I'm not taking that one thing. I think they already have a vaccine for it, and they're just waiting until after the election when Trump is out of office to start putting out to people. That's what I personally think. But that's just speculation. But let's just sit there and say that this thing goes another 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months down the line. You can't keep taking all these films that we've been waiting. We've been waiting for Top Gun since. I'm sorry, we've been waiting for James Bond since March. Yeah. So we've been waiting 6 more months. You can't keep saying we're going to push it back to March of 2021. No, we're going to make it to May of 2021. No, we're going to make it to November of 2021. You can't keep it. Some point in line, you're going to have to release it some kind of way.
Yeah.
Somebody has got to be the litmus test. Somebody's got to be, or someone has got to be the brave company and say, dollars be damned. We need to put it out there because we have to save the movie theater because that's what it's going to be about right now. Saving the movie theaters.
Yeah. I agree to a degree. It all depends, like you said, it all depends on, it's all about how COVID goes. And if it gets to that point where it is that you have to revamp the method now. My only argument, I don't really have an argument. My only argument is that I believe that if it comes down to that, you're not going to lose the quality of the product because they're worrying about making less money. That's not going to happen. Because I mean, especially when you talk about people, like I said, I know Disney's not the only people that make movies. We know that. But what I'm saying is there's constant advances in technology. Disney themselves, Industrial Light and Magic, all they're doing is re-innovating how to make stuff, how to make things look good. So if you look at The Mandalorian, for example, The Mandalorian looks just as good as any one of those Star Wars films, and they spend less money on it because the technology that they use, they don't have to spend as much money in special effects because of the new technology that they use, where they basically project the whole world on a projector on screens, It's not right. So my point is that's one example of how, as technology goes more and more, and they're finding new and innovative ways. I mean, the special effects now is getting. I see YouTube dudes. I see dudes on YouTube that are doing effects better than some movies that I've seen in the 90s or even in the 2000s. Like they're doing really good. Should be hired by, maybe not on the A team, maybe on the B or C team, should be hired by Industrial Light and Magic. You know what I'm saying? Like these are dudes off YouTube. That's all.
I agree with that. I agree with that too.
Technology, but we're not going to lose the quality of the product just because the way of distributing it has changed. If it changes, we're not going to lose the quality. They're still going to make the profit.
But it's strictly not about technology, because now let's bring this factor in. If movie theaters are no longer shown in theaters, right? Will actors and actresses be willing to cut their salaries down to something more moderate? So if you're someone like Tom Cruise that's getting $20 million per movie plus X amount of points, is he going to be willing to come down on that salary to keep the budgets lower? So that
he won't have to come down, though, Ralph. That's what I'm saying. I mean, Netflix is giving people $20 million. They're Netflix. You know what I'm saying? They're not Disney. They're Netflix.
Wait. If now I might be mistaken, aren't they giving the people that kind of money, like these comedians, to do these comedian specials?
Well, they're giving a lot of people. Like they're paying a lot of money out for movies and stuff like that. Eddie. I know Eddie Murphy did a huge deal for his films. They're giving people, creators $100 million deals. So my point is they're not going to be, I don't think they'll have to really come down from their price. They may not be able to get the points unless the points now probably just changes from ticket prices to that extra money, some off the VOD price.
Right. Because I just know that is also going to be a sticking point for actors, because actors say, wait, if I'm getting a $20 million a movie, I'm not willing to come down to $10 million. It's to go further, not retract.
At that point, though, bro, what can they really do? Not do it? Actors live movie by movie. All right. So the next film is, they live for the next film. And most actors, you have to be like a Tom Cruise or someone who's producing on the film. Most actors don't get extra money. Most actors get paid, and that is it. Whatever they get, that's why they're taking those big paydays, the $20 million. And once they become a big actor, most actors are getting paid what they're getting paid, and it's flat. That's it.
I understand.
Right. Unless they're a producer on it, like Tom Cruise.
However, the bulk of the movies that like you and Kev would really push and go see are not headlined by a lower, like a C-list, or now I'm talking about their acting ability, but a B-list or a C-list actor. They're really by an A-list person.
Yeah.
Right. So like Robert Downey Jr., do you really think that if I'm not mistaken, Robert Downey Jr. had the potential to make $90 million off the last Avengers movie, $90 million bucks. Now, if he comes back for the next Avengers movie as the AI, okay, and no more movie theaters, it's going to streaming services. Do you think he is going to sit there and say, well, because the format that you're going to deliver the movie is different, I'm willing to take a pay cut down. What you normally would give me, I will bring it down because it's not going to theaters.
I say yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I say yes, he would. And I'm saying because a couple of factors. Number one, his role isn't as big. If he doesn't have to appear personally and it's just his voice,
it doesn't matter.
That does matter. That does matter. If he's playing if he's now reduced, his role is reduced to supporting role, because if you're the AI, you're a supporting role. You're not, you're basically Jarvis now. You're basically the dude who now plays Vision. Now you're him. Now, of course, you're Robert Downey Jr. Your name holds weight, so you're not going to get what's that dude's name who plays Vision? I forget his name. You're not going to get
Paul. No, of course,
money. You're not going to get
that. You're not going to get that.
But still Robert Downey Jr. But of course, I mean, these things. All I'm trying to say to you, Ralph, is remember, we're talking if that is the situation. Of course, they're going to have to come down because guess what? The movie still gets made without you. Because
that is
they don't have to bring him back at all.
No.
You know, let's take someone who's alive. Let's take Thor. As you can see, it doesn't matter when it comes to these type of films. The film is going to get made with or without you.
But Wes, once again, that is very, very true. But once again, we're using an example as a Disney movie. I'm talking about like other people. Forget. Even if you take it out, there are a bunch of actors in Hollywood that do make that kind of money. That know that they know that you put your name in it and it's going to open a franchise or it's going to put a blockbuster. And think about how many times has the Writers Guild or the Actors Guild threatened to go on strike because a new platform has been created and they feel they should get a bigger piece of the pie. You never heard of an actor saying, unless it's a vanity project that an actor really wants to do, where they're going to take their salary and get it dropped down or take scale. It's very rare you hear that. Very rare. Unless it's a vanity project or something that they've been trying to get done for years. Most times they're not willing to come down because they're like, wait a minute, it took me X amount of years to get to this money level. I don't want to come down to get something level unless it's a vanity project or like if it's a director that they've been trying to work with for a long time. No, like Leo. I mean, in '92, and a lot sometimes when that price of what they want to make comes down because the movie say, hey, you know, if I do this movie, it might lead me to an Oscar. Leo does that. He did that with The Revenant. He took a lesser payday because he felt it was going to finally give him his Oscar, right? But what he made the same thing on Django. He made the same thing on The Wolf of Wall Street. But Revenant, because it was a passion project of his. Most actors are not willing. Most A-list actors are not really willing to drop that price down. Depending, there's got to be a couple of factors in there. If it's a vanity project, if it could lead me to an Oscar, if it's a director, not another actor, if it's a director they've been dying to work with, and this is their opportunity to say, you know what, I might take it because of who the director is. But those instances are far and few in between. Once you make it $20 million, you're not trying to go down to 6.
No,
you're trying to go to 22.
They won't have to go that low though, Ralph. That's what I'm telling you.
I'm just using.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. They're gonna have to though. All right. So right now, just to piggyback off that, right now, Forbes put out a list of the highest paid actors of 2020 as of 2020. Of course, everyone would probably figure that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the number one at $87.5 million. All right. It says The Rock tops the list for the second year in a row, thanks to his $23.5 million check from Netflix. See right there, that just backs up what I said. Netflix is cutting.
Wait. But for how many projects for Netflix?
It says for upcoming film Red Notice.
It's just one movie.
Yeah.
One movie.
That's it. Mm-hmm. So that he has a film called Red Notice. That's a Netflix film. He made $23.5 million from that alone. So Netflix, a streaming service, cut him that check.
Okay, but wait. Before you finish that story, now here's the question. Netflix cut him a check for $23.5 million for this movie. What was he making before that?
Well, I got to get back to that. I'm still on this same list, but it doesn't matter what he was making before that. That's my point I was trying to prove is that they're still cutting those big checks. $23.5 million for one movie is really good. I mean, that is a lot of money. That's A-list money. So number 2 is Ryan Reynolds.
Wait, hold on a second. But here's a couple of the factors of that one. Even though The Rock is going to make $22.5 million, who are the other people in the movie? Are they of the talent caliber or pay caliber of The Rock?
Doesn't matter. He's still making $23.5 million for it.
But wait. If you saying that he's in the movie and you got Julia Roberts in the movie that makes another $20 million, that to me says okay. That's the test. Say okay. They would, but if you tell me
that right now it's an upcoming movie, so I mean, unless it's out there and see if anyone else is cast for it, I have to check that out. But the bottom line is, we all know The Rock usually stars in a movie with someone else that's a huge caliber. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, and we'll have to see.
I don't know about that part.
Number 2 is Rock. Yeah, he does. I mean, what movie? I mean, what movie lately Rock hasn't starred in that didn't have another big caliber person in there?
Skyscraper.
So Ryan Reynolds is number 2. Ryan Reynolds made more than $20 million a piece on Six Underground and Red Notice. In July, the streamer announced it was shelling out a third Ryan Reynolds film. So these films are films that was from Netflix. They paid him $20 million each film for that. So once again, we're talking about the A-list actors of today, and they're getting already the number 1 and number 2 are getting their checks from a streaming service, getting their checks from Netflix. So number 3 is Mark Wahlberg. Wahlberg's action comedy Spencer Confidential. That's another Netflix film. Spencer Confidential became Netflix's 3rd most watched original film after it debuted in March. He has also made millions producing docuseries McMillions and Wall Street. So there you go. That's the one that my friend Alexandra Vino is in that film. Yeah, that's another Netflix film. So he's number 3. So number 1, 2, and 3 of the highest paid actors as of 2020 are all getting their checks from one streaming service. One. So he's number 3 on the list is Mark Wahlberg. Number 4 is Ben Affleck, 55 million. After a brief hiatus, now I don't know if he was getting anything from streaming service. After a brief hiatus, Affleck returned to the big screen. He's big screen this year, starring in The Way Back and Netflix, The Last Thing He Wanted. So there you go again. So the actors, to be honest with you, Ralph, this is telling you right here, the actors are getting hip to this whole shit, and they're already moving towards streaming services already, because they see that getting it from the doing it the theater way is not going to get them more money. They're getting paid. Actually, the actor is getting paid more money going to the streaming service per in their pocket. And even actors that aren't A-list actors would get more money than what they would normally get from a theater movie if they went to Netflix or something like that, or a streaming service, because the streaming service is going to pay that extra bread to get them, to get them on the service. Look at how much money Look how much money they paid. Netflix paid for the movie with De Niro and Pacino. What was it called again? The
Irishman.
The Irishman. They had to buy out the contract from what was that, Paramount or whatever that was, or it was ridiculous. They paid a lot of money for that movie just to be able to come, to make it and get the rights from it and stuff like that. So my point is, I ain't gonna read the whole list, but Vin Diesel is number 5. Now he's probably the only one that's made all of his money pretty much in the theaters. You know what I mean? With the fast movies. So I'm going for number 7 is Lin-Manuel Miranda. Will Smith, 44. Will Smith still on the top 10 list. Wow.
Wow, that's surprising.
That is surprising. The Fresh Prince can still earn big checks for lead parts, such as his upcoming role in King Richard, in which he portrays Richard Williams, father of the tennis greats Serena and Venus Williams. But that's probably was set to be a theater movie, I would think.
Like that movie. I'm betting you for that one. Mm-hmm. It's just expecting. I'm betting for that one. He probably, because I think Will's at 20 million. He probably dropped his price in half because that role could possibly get him an Oscar.
Yeah,
it really. I mean, I remember hearing about that one. I was like, yeah. It probably
Oh, most definitely.
Now, how deep into the Williams family is it going to touch? That he cheated on his wife and all that stuff, or they just gonna keep it shiny?
They might go in with it. Yeah, they might go in with it. Adam Sandler's number 9 on the list because remember Adam Sandler kind of reinvented himself
on Netflix. He needed that.
Yeah, he needed that.
He needed that.
So do that. And it says here now this is a real surprise. Number 10, and that's where I'm gonna stop. Number 10, Jackie Chan, $40 million. They said 6 decades into his career, the martial arts star is as active as ever, making 5 movies in the past year. He passed income with millions from endorsements and licensing deals. That's how he's been. That's what they said.
What kind of surprised me about that list is not who's on the list. Is what I'm surprised that Will Smith hasn't gone ahead with a Karate Kid 2 with Jackie Chan and his son yet. That kind of surprised me that it's like 10 years later and they still never done a second one. That was really like, wow. Because I mean, the first one took in a good ton of money.
Yeah,
and you would think that they would have did it, and they just never did another one. And I don't know if you can go back and do a Karate Kid 2 now with the Cobra Kai series, because now that's kind of like put like the shadow on top of the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I don't know why they I don't know what type of money that film made. Did it make decent money?
It made very decent money.
Yeah, I don't remember. You're talking about the one that he did with Will Smith's son, right? With Jaden. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I mean, my whole point is that right there gives you, because you got to remember too, Ralph. Times are changing, bro. We know that. We got to change with them, because that was my biggest question is when we talk about the blockbuster A-list actor, right? It's like, okay, now none of those traditional A-list actors was really on that list, other than you say, The Rock is on fire, so he's like an A-list actor. Not saying that none of them deserve to be on that list, but that's a surprising list. Like, you don't see the Tom Cruises of the world, the Brad Pitts of the world, the people that we've always known to be A-list actors. Not one female on that list.
Very surprising.
No, well, yeah, not one. Actually, no ScarJo, no Jennifer Lawrence, like none of them. No J-Lo. That's because, and remember, this is an up-to-date list as of this year. That's because a lot of these actors are starting to find homes going to like Netflix and the streaming services, because they're getting a shit ton of money put in their pocket up front. You know what I'm saying? Some of them is for multiple deals, for multiple movies. Like we said, look what Dave Chappelle did. He went there and got paid a crap ton of money. Everybody laughed, not everybody, but people laughed at him, called him crazy for walking away from the money, the $50 million they wanted, but he made all of that back and more with Netflix. And he did, a certain amount of specials. He's made that money back. You know what I mean? So Netflix is willing to put the money. So why do you think Netflix is just growing the money on trees? Because like we said before, you do the numbers. Look at the subscribers that Netflix has, and times those subscribers by the number of the subscription. They make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And of course, now their bottom line, what's the word? I forgot the word that it is, but their bottom line revenue would be higher if they didn't spend so much money shelling out $20 million to The Rock every movie and stuff like that. But they still make a good amount of money, obviously, to continue on doing what they're doing. So that's what I'm talking about. You're talking about billions. You're in the billions of dollars a month.
Look at Ryan Reynolds.
These places are making.
Look what Ryan Reynolds just did.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds just inked a history-making deal with Disney. So that kills your other point. The studios are spending money. Disney just inked a deal for like millions of dollars with Ryan Reynolds. over his course of time that he's going to be with Disney now. So that thing about the studios are not spending money is that's dead. That's dead. Because they're going to spend the money.
They're going to still spend the money. They're still going to spend the money, Ralph, because they're not going to put out that, because they have to spend it. They have to, even when you think about it, because like I think we all agreed on, yes, doing that is going to be an experiment. They're taking a chance. So guess what? They may have to really make sure they continue to spend the money, because is anyone going to pay that extra money for garbage? If you're putting garbage out, if you're putting out stuff that's not the standard of what you've already put out, you have to continue that standard.
I agree with that one.
You're not going to sell the VODs. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in total agreement. You do have to keep that going. But the only question I ask is simply this: is that if, and this is if, the movie going experience, movie theaters actually shut down for good, right? Would companies like Netflix or Disney, with Netflix and Amazon in, would they continue to shell out that kind of money for projects, not the actors, projects, whatever? Would they continue to do it? And then would actors be willing to bring their pays down to get a budget more in line?
Again, actors don't have to bring their pay down. That's A. B, the studios are going to continue to keep doing what they're doing, because Netflix barely releases anything in theaters as it is. So theaters is a non-factor when it comes to
that's Netflix. What Netflix wants. They don't want you. They want the theaters to
but I'm not specifically talking about Netflix. What I'm talking about the
film companies themselves. You said Netflix, but whether it be Netflix, Amazon, whether it be let's not say Netflix. Let's say Amazon.
I'm not talking about them neither. I'm not talking about them neither. What I'm talking about are other companies like Paramount, Warner Brothers, all those guys, those people.
But even them, Universal has already proven that they'll do it. They don't have a problem with doing it.
Right. I mean, they'll have no choice, Ralph. I mean, they're going to have to do it. And the alternative is not. I don't think it's even I don't even think it's an option to spend less money on a movie. You know what I'm saying? And think that people are just going to still buy it because the movie theaters aren't open. You know what I'm saying? If people, I mean, some people will, of course, because they're going to have to see it first. And but if they got if they got a movie that's, let's just say a movie that's, they spent, let's take a movie that was spent a lot of money on, I'm going to use this. I don't know. Some people, I didn't like After Earth, right? They spent a lot of money on that. So a movie like that, or you spent a lot of money on and, didn't get great reviews, wasn't generally a great movie, people are not going to, once the word of mouth gets around, people ain't going to pay that extra $30 to see it. So you got to still come with the quality. Just, because the quality isn't going to change. It can't change. You know what I mean?
I used to really hope that. No, but once again,
do you watch The Mandalorian? Do you watch The Mandalorian?
I've seen some of them. I haven't seen the whole series, but I'm
using that as an example. And I know I keep coming back to Disney's because they're the only ones of the studios that have their own streaming other than Warner Brothers. But and even Warner Brothers is going to go with HBO Max. But anyway, I'm using that as an example. The Mandalorian is a show that's produced solely on the Disney streaming platform, and it has no quality loss of any sort whatsoever.
Yes, but once again, and that's the part of the problem, is that everybody uses Disney. Disney right now,
they're the only ones that's doing it,
right? Yeah. Because Disney, and even with that, right now, Disney has, to a large degree, we can all say, an unlimited amount of money. They can do whatever they want to do, because it has the name Disney attached to it. But once again, the movie business is not strictly business; it's everybody.
I know that, but I mean, we just all together looked at Netflix, right?
But let's keep it a buck though. Disney is not the only one that's doing it, because you have CBS that's doing it with their Picard series. You have the Paramount Network. You have HBO Max. So it's not. So what Disney is doing, they're not the only ones that's doing it.
Right.
What they are doing is they're setting precedent when it comes to certain things of how things are being released and how they're doing things. But to be honest with you, just like with the Mandalorian, CBS was already doing Star Trek. They had their new Star Trek series going on 2 years before, and before there was a Disney Plus. So the business model is already there. Yeah. The only thing Disney is doing right now is capitalizing off of it. And also, the other thing you have to take into account also is that content is running low, unfortunately, at this point. Yeah. Seasons are starting to run out. Seasons that were in the middle of shooting because of COVID and couldn't finish shooting are now either in the wind or slowly starting to resume shooting. So with the release of new content, that's gonna push people more towards well, God, I'm starved to see something. So, and that price point of $30 is going to come down. Yeah, that was to me. That was just a test run to see who would do it. They see that the people are going to do it, but now they know that people will probably do it more if they drop that price down. Because you got to remember, you're spending $30 to get the movie, and then you got to spend another $7 to get the Disney Plus app. So that's almost $40. So yeah. I think Disney.
I can go with that one. I can go down. That's like back in the day with that's like back in the day of sell through. You know, when video companies used to put a movie out that was strictly sell through, they used to be $39. It used to be $39.95 when they wanted to sell it to sell. Over the course of time, over years, it came down to like $19.99, which I'm cool with that one. But once again, it's a amount of years. It's a amount of years. It wasn't like instantaneous. So like
this is not going to take it. This is not going to take a year because we're living in different times.
Yeah,
we're living in the time of we're living in the time of COVID. 2, we're living in the time of, you know what, we saw that didn't work. We need to come with a better solution. Disney at this point in time has the money to take risks, so they can slash that price and give it another go, which I think they're going to do pretty soon with another movie that they have slated to come out. I don't know which one it is. They got a couple of movies slated to come out, so they're gonna do it again.
Yeah,
that thing is not over. And unfortunately, with COVID and movie theaters, the only reason why Black Widow is not going to come to video on demand, because this is something I forgot about when we talked about this last time, is the fact that Disney already has things in place with theaters. There are contracts and stuff that are already in place with theaters. So they have no choice but to go ahead and do that. The same thing with Milan. They had to still release Milan in theaters, but at the same time,
unless it's something the theaters, have to renege on that contract because they shut down. There's no theaters, right?
So they for like you said, for that they don't have a choice because well, are you guys gonna open back up? And they say no, then what choice you giving us? You're gonna have to break your contract.
Yeah.
Now the theater chain, they really want to be a jerk to say, well, we're not going to do it. You're just going to have to keep pushing it back until we decide. And now you got to go to court. But who knows you're going to go to court? So it's best for all proper people to just say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to accommodate because we're living in a different time. Everybody is not going to be accommodating like that. They're just not. You know, I went to movie.
But hence, that's why the movie theaters like AMC came up with that deal to get a percentage. That's why they made the deal they made with Universal. But nobody was going for that because Universal was only giving up a 10% profit to the movie theaters off of their video on demand. And the movie theaters, being greedy, already had it slated to where if anybody else that they set up that deal with, the price point was going to be higher for their cut. So nobody's doing that.
That's it. Unless once again, those latte drinking, tattoo ankle having, yoga pants wearing executive work deals out to make everything accommodating. That's what's gotta happen. Everybody has got to take a little from this and a little from that to give everybody what they want. And now the question is, are they willing to do that? At the end of the day, once again, we're not talking about $10. We're talking about potentially $100 million that you either stand to gain or lose. You know, that's really what, in the end, it always boils down to money. Always.
Of course. Well, of course it always. But we'll have to see how this plays out. You know, now that the fact that the theaters are right now the Regal theaters, they're the first ones to make that move to say that, right now until further notice, they're going to, they're shutting down their theaters. They're shutting down, 543 Regal cinema venues in the U.S. and all cinemas across the UK and Ireland. So
that's all those people that's going to be out of work, and it's not like saying, well, we're going to be off for 2 weeks. You're out of work indefinitely. Indefinitely. That's further notice. That is a hard word for anybody to. It's tough to be fired or be laid off. When I'm talking about that, you're being forced out because of something, and we have no idea when we're going to be able, or if we're even ever going to be able to bring you back. That's a hard pill to swallow. And people expect, and companies are expecting employees to just swallow the pills that, okay, no big deal, I'll be by the phone waiting. Now you got what? You got 45 million people out on unemployment. 45 million. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's a shame, the effect that COVID is having on every industry. Industry. I mean, in the film industry, to a degree, even though they'll be able to recover, and they are recovering, but they're taking a big hit. It's affecting them in its own way, pretty big, and it's going to be a lot of changes. That's why I believe that. But I think as far as the actors go, they already started making mad dashes towards streaming services, because as an actor, you're able to, if you go to if you're a big, an A-list actor, you don't even have to be an A-list actor when it comes to Netflix. Netflix goal is to get everything, they're not going to get everything on Netflix, but I'm just saying, they want to do all original stuff. They want to stop paying out licensing money. If they can put the money out and continue to put out original content, they'll save money in licensing, right? But they don't have to, they'll save that money in license. That's why their goal is to get original content, almost solely original content. They'll keep a few shows like syndicated shows, stuff like that, but that's cheaper licensing to pay on a syndicated show or whatever. But, they got shows that are still running.
They're even buying the content now. They're even buying the content now, like they did with Lucifer.
The content. Yeah. So that itself, they're really trying to do. But a lot of the actors, they, that's what happened. Like I said, shout out to my man Mike Sword. He's my agent. Mike Sword, he tells me all the time when we talk. He's like, man, going to the Netflix office in California is, you might as well be walking on Hollywood Boulevard. He's like, you always run into a celebrity in the Netflix building. You always run into a big celebrity in the Netflix building. He said, you might as well be on Hollywood Boulevard. He said, because they're all there trying to get deals.
Well, no disrespect to your agent, but I mean, the Netflix building is 2 blocks away from Hollywood Boulevard. I know where the Netflix building is.
Yeah, well,
it's right there by the 101 freeway.
That's not the point. The point is,
it is right next to a McDonald's.
Yeah, right. But the point is, they don't need to be in the building. They, his whole point is, you can't walk into the Netflix building without running into a celebrity that's in there trying to doing business. They're not just walking in the Netflix building for no reason. They're in there doing business. And they're in there doing business because they know they're cutting checks. They're cutting checks that some of them, and like I said, when you think of it, look at that list. Adam Sandler, you know what I'm saying, reinvented itself through Netflix and made the list of the top 10 highest paid actors in 2020. There it is right there. Then that's someone who had to reinvent himself, who wasn't an A-list actor at all. And then you got all the way up to the top of the list, who is an A-list actor in the theaters as well, is The Rock. And they're cutting him $20 million checks. So I mean, even all the way, you can go all the way back to Will Smith, who jumped on it early when he did Bright. You know what I'm saying, with Netflix. He jumped on that big check early because he got a big check from that. You know what I'm saying? So Netflix is shelling out the money because they want to bring the A-list actors, because that's going to follow suit. Like you said before, the industry is monkey see, monkey do. So those other actors that may not even be as bigger actors as them, they're going to be like, yo, I'm going to go to Netflix and get a bag. Why not?
I mean, not for nothing. If that was me, I might ask be on Netflix like,
yeah.
Hello.
And remember what most I know, most actors, some of them just love to act. Most actors' goal is to one day or eventually get behind the camera, because they know that's where the real money is made. So therefore, they have those opportunities at Netflix and Amazon and stuff like that, because they'll be able to come. Netflix, you don't think, let's just say like an A-list actor who really just acts most of the time. Someone like, who we're talking about tonight, let's say Julia Roberts, right? I mean, she produces too, but I'm just saying, you think of like Julia Roberts, who made the bulk of her money from acting. You know what I mean? If she went to Netflix now and had, some content, I'm sure they would probably give her some ridiculous deal, $100 million deal or something like that, to do like 3 movies and bring content, produce some stuff. They would do it because she got the credibility. That's all you need over there at Netflix is credibility. Even behind the scenes, you have credibility. They're going to give you the money, So we're going to get the joint started in a second. But it's going to be interesting to find out how this all plays out, man. It's just, but I believe the actors, because think about it. A lot of these actors, let's be honest, way before COVID, the films, the film world, if you're not that's why you had all those actors complaining. If you're not a blockbuster film, more than likely a comic book film in the last 10 years, if you're not a comic book film, you're not making no money. Unless you're Bond or Fast Five, like those are the other, like only other films. You have to be a huge blockbuster franchise film or a comic book film. Otherwise, you're not making no money. The actor's been complaining about that. So actually, Netflix and the streaming service is offering, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's a lifeline.
Sanctuary. Yeah, they're offering
anything. It's a lifeline.
Yeah, it's a lifeline. They're offering them sanctuary to go over there and make some real money again. Because these actors were already taking pay cuts to do films because they just had to, because there wasn't people taking the money. I mean, look what happened to that's exactly what happened to the why are these names escaping me today? And you said it already, the film with De Niro and Pacino. What the hell is it called? Irishman, yeah. That's exactly what happened to The Irishman, basically. The movie studio was not willing to take the chance on it, spending all that money for it, to do all of the digital stuff and all the things they had to do. They didn't want to take that chance. So, I mean, if it wasn't for Netflix, that movie would have never been out. It would have never came out. It would have never been made. So, it's places like that, like Netflix, that is offering sanctuary to a lot of these actors that, if they were just sticking strictly to theater films, theatrical release films, that's why you see you got A-list actors that's going to television, because they need a check. They need a steady check.
And but even when they're going to television, they are not getting what they got. Honestly, I'm gonna take that statement back, because when you're in television, you get paid per episode. So so it may even out over the course of the series, like year, the same thing you would have made for a movie. But even with that one, and we never had this conversation, but the quality of television, because I think years ago, let's say when we was all in our 20s, you see, like if you were to see Tom Cruise on a CBS sitcom, it was kind of like the kiss of death, like, movie stars on new television. But now, and I really think that's because of The Sopranos. And maybe HBO, that the idea of doing a television show has been severely elevated.
Well, yeah, HBO. I say HBO in itself, because I mean, look at what they did with the Game of Thrones series. You know what I mean? That was, those were like movies. You know what I'm saying? So the quality of those shows, you know what I'm saying, of that series was movie quality of those. So yeah, they probably I can be. I mean, a lot of other shows have done, television networks have done some good jobs, but I say HBO might be the ones that really kind of up the ante a little bit, and then now other shows are following suit. And I hear they're doing the same thing with the Lovecraft Country. That they're doing.
Oh my God, that is the coolest shit on HBO since. I mean, I know Watchmen came on last year, but Watchmen Euphoria, but Lovecraft County is it's like True Blood type stuff. It's awesome. It's like Twilight Zone and Night Gallery and the Outer Limits all put together and still with like traces of Us and Get Out in it. It's creepy, but it's cool as hell.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm saying. So we're gonna go into the movie verses for this year. This evening. Let me just share the screen here.
And before we do that, let's give a quick rest in peace to Thomas Jefferson Byrd. That shit just don't make no sense, man. I don't know what the hell happened, but how you gonna? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's definitely. Whew, yeah, that was that's what happened earlier where he got shot, right? He got murdered, right?
Got murdered. It sounded
gunned
like he
down
got
in Southwest Atlanta,
like a dog. Shot in the back.
Wow. Damn. And we know, he's been in quite a few, Spike Lee really made him, famous with a lot of films he was in with Spike, Clockers. He played that. I loved his character in Clockers, man.
Yeah.
He was that dude, man, that he was like the crazy like brother or something, right? What was he like? Uncle or something like
crazy
that.
Crazy uncle.
Yeah, the uncle.
That tells you why you shouldn't drink beer while he down in the beer.
Yeah. He got Game, Red Hook Summer. He was in a lot of Spike Lee films. Chirac. Yeah, man. That's just wow. Thomas Jefferson Byrd, man. Let me rest in peace to him, man. This is condolences go out to his family and friends. And people, his loved ones, man. This world is crazy, man. It's just wild right now. Senseless stuff. So this week's versus volume 4, I think we're up to, will be Sandra Bullock versus Julia Roberts. And it's funny because these women obviously both have, we're only doing the 20 movies. They obviously have more than 20 movies, good movies and stuff. But they're kind of both in the same lane, but kind of not. Like Sandra Bullock is a little more on the action side than Julia. Like she kind of took a few more action chances than Julia. But they're both basically rom-com women. They got their serious stuff too, but a lot of the stuff is rom-coms. And the funny thing is, I told you, I think I said at the top of the show, I was never really a rom-com type of person, but I guess earlier in my days I was, because I've seen a lot of these movies, maybe almost all of them, and I'm like, well, I guess I was earlier in my days. Maybe when take a girl to see a film that they wanted to see. And it was usually a Julia Roberts movie or a Sandra Bullock movie. But both of these ladies obviously are phenomenal actors. They both have a couple of, I specifically pitted a couple of things, versus each other that was like their award-winning films and stuff like that. So no further ado, we will get started on, once again, the verses. Julia Roberts versus Sandra Bullock. And we start off, gentlemen, and Kev, you could scorekeeper. We start off with number 1. I took 2 films that was early in their days. It was not neither one of these ladies' first films. Obviously, I was going to have like Mystic Pizza versus like, I forgot that one that Sandra was in. But to be honest with you, those earlier films ended up coming off the list because they got so much better films. So, cutthroat, as Ralph would say, got to take them off the 2020 list. So, Demolition Man.
Somebody else has to keep score tonight because I don't have the ability to keep score right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Demolition Man versus Flatliners is the first battle. Is the first of the battles.
Demolition Man.
Okay, let me just see here. I'm just gonna set something here where I can keep a list as well. Okay, so you got Demolition Man. Ralph is, I think he left. He'll be back. And okay, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Flatliners. I'm going Flatliners because I think Julia Roberts' role in Flatliners was better than Sandra's role in Demolition Man. I did like her in Demolition Man. I love the movie. Demolition Man. But as far as Sandra Bullock's role in it, which was a good role, she had a decent role in it. But they both were supporting in that film. But Julia was kind of more like, well, I guess Sandra was the female lead of Demolition Man. Julia Roberts was in Flatliners. I think her role was a little better. I thought the film, especially for the time it came out, I mean, I ain't gonna say the film was better, but I really liked it. So I'm going with Flatliners. Kev went with Demolition Man. And what are you going with, Ralph?
I'm going with Demolition Man.
Demolition Man it is. So that is one for Sandra Bullock, right? So we're going to go here. I'm just keeping score. Sandra and Julia. 1 for Sandra. Okay. Now we got number 2. We have Speed versus Pretty Woman. Both of their breakout, quote unquote, roles, so to speak.
Speed.
I'm going with Pretty Woman.
Yeah, I'm going with Pretty Woman too. I mean, Sandra was cool in Speed, but I mean,
Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, she captivated everybody in that film. Like that, at that point is when Hollywood and everybody fell in love with Julia Roberts, like completely.
Yeah,
that film. And
so what? My ex-wife loves that movie. My ex-wife loves that movie. So
okay,
are you trolling on it? That's why you're trolling on it. Okay, I see what it is. I see.
I'm not trolling on it. I just like Speed better.
All right, so it's that's 1 for Julia Roberts. So number 3, I'm just leaving that alone, Kev. I'm leaving that one alone. We go.
That sounds like a straight up troll move. Fuck Julia Roberts, man. Yeah. She was a hooker. She gets nothing.
I know, right? She did actually play a hooker in that movie. So number 3, While You Were Sleeping, Sandra Bullock against Steel Magnolias, Julia Roberts.
While You Were Sleeping.
Don't tell me that your ex favorite was Julia Roberts. So everything is gonna be a no. He's like,
actually no. I really didn't care for Steel Magnolias, and I love Sissy Spacek, but I just didn't really care for Steel Magnolias. It just wasn't for me.
Well,
good movie, but
I'm gonna go with.
Well, I don't understand, Kevin. It's all about love. Doesn't your love of Edward give credence to Steel? Like, I love you. We can make it all better. Let me just glitter a little bit, And I got the Steel Magnolias, and I got the Georgia peaches in front of us.
You know what? You know how I'm gonna handle this. This is how I'm gonna handle this one. This is how I'm gonna handle this one. You know what? My wife was a beautician. All them bitches and Steel Magnolias was beautician. fuck Still Magnolia. Now.
Wow.
Damn.
Oh, baby. I don't know what to say to that one.
The shade room is hot today.
For real. Okay, so we have I didn't pick mine yet. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with While You Were Sleeping, and the only reason why is because she was the lead in that movie. Julia Roberts. I mean, that movie, Still Magnolias, was really Meryl Streep really was the one who killed that. Her
You
character.
did not see Still Magnolias because Meryl Streep is not in Still Magnolias.
Was it Meryl? That wasn't Meryl. Who's the old woman in that?
They're all old. Dolly Parton. You know, they said a great Dolly Parton got old to stay young.
Who am I thinking about then?
Sally Field?
Sally Field, it must be who I'm thinking about. The older woman in there, and Still Magnolias. I think but there was so then maybe I'm mixed up with the movie. There's a movie that she did. No, you know what I'm thinking about? Excuse me, that's my bad. I'm thinking about the movie. Is it on here? There's a movie that I think it's that August. What you call?
Yeah, she Meryl Streep is in that. She's in August.
That's the one. That's the one I'm thinking about with Meryl. But I still say While You Were Sleeping because she was the lead in that.
Well, I'm going with Still Magnolias. I did not think I was going to like it when I first saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So on the VHS, I know a lot of y'all don't even know what the hell that is. But that's how I saw it. And
a lot of people don't know what that is.
A lot of you don't even let me talk about the word Betamax. They'd be like, what?
Oh yeah, yo, I had to break that out on for the other day. What? They were like, what? I said that to one dude who was like, yo, everyone know what VHS is? I was like, dude, I had a Betamax when I was a kid. He's like, oh, word, y'all was balling then because we couldn't afford a Betamax when we was younger.
Nah, the laser disc.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yo, you know what's funny about that? You know, it was funny about you saying that. If y'all hadn't said that, I wouldn't have just realized that our first videotape machine was a damn Betamax.
Yeah,
that was the first thing my dad bought. Yeah, was a damn Betamax.
That was the first thing I ever had.
We didn't have it for long.
Yeah,
we didn't have it for long because the VHS came in so damn fast behind Betamax. Yeah.
Oh, we had that Betamax. We had was dope. The man and my mom's recipe. She used to collect movies and like she used to tape everything, and she had a whole wall full of tapes that she taped movies and stuff. She used to tape movies off HBO and stuff. Betamax. Yeah, man, we had a Betamax, man, and then we actually had a Betamax for a while before we even got our VHS. So it was interesting. Okay, so
we got our VHS really fast.
Oh, you got yours fast. We had Betamax for a while before we got VHS. Because you know the movie, the all of the video stores were still doing Betamax too. When they started, it's so funny seeing the progression of all of this stuff. Seeing Betamax tapes, from like the mom and pop movie, video stores. Then they changed to VHS, slowly getting rid of all the betas. Then that changed to Laserdisc. Laserdisc didn't stay in long though, because they jumped from like that big. I'm talking about the big Laserdisc.
Yeah,
Laserdisc. Those didn't stay in long. That was a big jump. We didn't get a chance to get one of those because that didn't stay around long enough. I don't know.
Shit, I think only the people who had money had damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then from then it went to DVDs. You know what I mean? So. I don't know. But yeah, that Laserdisc was my cousin Anthony, big up to him. He had one of them joints. It was only cats who had some extra bread to get that.
I had a VHS.
The only time I ever touched a Laserdisc, I worked for this company called Excelsior Designs. Wow. They were an Italian furniture company, and every year in September they have the in High Point, North Carolina, they have the furniture convention. And it's set up in this big ass building. There's nothing but furniture retailers, Fortunoff, Levitt's, all of them, all in the same building. And they come to buy furniture from companies like Excelsior. And we had to set up all of the furniture things. That was my first time ever touching a Laserdisc. I set it up,
it's huge.
and while I was working, I was watching Jurassic Park on Laserdisc. That was the most beautiful thing I ever seen in my life.
Oh wow, it must have been at that point.
Man.
Shoot.
I've only seen Laserdisc a couple of times. I saw 2001 on Laserdisc, and I was like, "Damn!" No, I wish I would.
Crazy too.
Yeah, I had a VHS. I never had a laser. I had a VHS, and I never had my dad. My dad knew a bunch of people, so he got us a VHS one. But he had a friend of his that repaired the duplicating machines, and for like the movie companies, he says, "Ralph, this is for you." And I was like, "Okay." He didn't tell me what. I had like Return of the Jedi like 6 months before it actually came out in stores on VHS.
That's dope.
I was like, "That's what I mean."
That's dope. So you went with Still Magnolias. Kev went with While You Were Sleeping. And I'm going with While You Were Sleeping for the same reason. So,
so them beauty parlors, so them beauty parlor bitches can go to hell.
Okay.
That's you're right,
4.
man.
All right. We have number 4 for Sandra Bullock, The Net, versus number 4 for Julia Roberts, Sleeping with the Enemy.
Ooh. And I love The Net. The Net is mine. The Net too.
I enjoyed it. It was good, and that was like around that time where after she already did Speed, she did a couple of the Demolition Man, and The Net was like her first film. That was her first true. That was one of her biggest leads. Right. That was her first really big film. Lead. Yeah, where she was the lead. Yeah. That was like her first lead. Sleeping with the Enemy is, it's not her first lead because she was the lead female in Pretty Woman, but Sleeping with the Enemy was that movie of hers on her own. She was the biggest star, let's put it that way. Yeah. When Pretty Woman came out, her and Gear when it first came out, they were about even as far as being stars, and then she became the biggest star. But Sleeping with the Enemy, she was the biggest star in that film. She was the head.
Well, if you haven't been able to tell already, tonight has a theme, and that theme is I was sleeping with the fucking enemy. So The Net.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going with Sleeping with the Enemy because it was just I just thought it was at the time the film, it was a different type of film. I think that dude who was her co-star, he was just
I forgot about him.
That was crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was the one that really made that movie.
If he was still young enough now, he'd have been great as Kraven the Hunter, because that's what he looks like.
Definitely. Most definitely. And that's in all honesty, that's the real reason why I'm giving it to The Net, is because he was the real driving force behind that movie. Yes, she was running from him, and yes, it was about her empowerment to finally break away from him. And yes, she almost peed her pants when she came into her mom's house and saw that those cabinets was all put nice and neat in OCD order. But
and then the music came on. Then the music came on. It was like, oh shit.
But Sandra Bullock had to go through some stuff in The Net, yo. They did her dirty. They did her dirty. Like it was like sleeping with the. Actually, this is why The Net is better, because she was actually sleeping with the enemy, and almost got killed by the damn enemy, as well.
I know, almost set her up on the boat.
In The Net, yeah.
On the
was
boat.
about the,
fish bait.
Finesse out the booty, and then was gonna murder her.
Yeah. Fish bait. That's what she's gonna be. Fish bait.
Fish bait. Yeah, that's messed up.
Shark, man. So just on that principle alone, just on the principle of which one was, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not. This is no knock to domestic violence. Again, I was married to the enemy.
Right.
But
it is,
at the same time,
which it is domestic violence awareness month, October. Just
so it's definitely no knock on that. But like Sandra Bullock just went through it. Like, she had her identity stolen. Like, she got arrested. She she went through. Like she was stranded in another country and couldn't get home. Like,
oh man,
like,
when you mentioned that part about Julia Roberts about to piss her pants, which she walked into her mama's house and that dude, she heard that dude's voice. Oh my god!
Yeah.
You know what else I liked about Sleeping with the Enemy? The score. The score for it was really cool. It was really good. Really cold.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
You hear like I guess it was scored with like a cello or something. I don't know, whatever that was.
Yeah. It was definitely to the point and just very somber and just like like it was basically, bitch, you getting your ass beat every day. When you gonna leave?
Yeah. He was just wow. It was just, and she got out of there. I'm going with Sleeping with the Enemy. What about you, Ralph?
I'm going with Sleeping with the Enemy too, man. Like that part, you know, when she opened the cabinet doors and she started crying and the music came in, he just came out like lurking out the background, like I told you you're mine, John. You'll never get rid of me. If I can't have you, no one else will.
And it kind of really that film also kind of set a tone for other films. That's just like the J-Lo film that several years later, Enough.
That was garbage.
No, but my point is, whether it's garbage or not, my point is this film kind of set a tone for other type of films of women empowerment type of joints.
Well, hell, I mean, if that's your argument, I mean, listen, the net was speaking early to identity theft before identity theft was even a thing.
Yeah, it was.
True.
But before, I should say before it was a thing. Before it was like a major thing.
Yeah.
You know, before it was like, you know,
it was
still happening because you still had con artists, you know, stealing people's identity. But that was like your first foray into seeing it done digitally.
Yeah, I thought it was good. That's a tough one for me, but I'm still going with Sleeping with the Enemy on that one. But yeah, so we move on. That was another one for Julia. Okay, so number 5 is A Time to Kill.
I got your back, Sandra. I got your back.
Right. A Time to Kill. Number 5 versus number 5, The Pelican Brief. Julia Roberts.
Wait, what was the first one you said? I missed that.
A Time to Kill. Sandra Bullock.
Oh.
And versus The Pelican Brief. Julia Roberts.
No, I'm not doing this one. I'm not doing this one.
I am. I'm going to do this. I'm taking A Time to Kill over Pelican Brief for one simple reason. In the book, The Pelican Brief, Julia Roberts and the character that Denzel Washington played actually hooked up in the book.
And they didn't do. I knew you
was
going to say that. I knew you was going to say that because I thought about that too. They was not having that. There was no joke.
But that was no. But listen. You cannot hold that. You cannot hold that against them because that was Denzel's choice. Denzel was married, and he was not going to disrespect his wife like that by having sex with this woman on screen.
Man, give me a break. How many movies did Denzel make up to that point where he was having sex with someone else on camera?
Yeah.
You never saw Mississippi Masala? Mo Better Blues?
Yeah, I did.
Mo Better Blues. Mo Better Blues. He was having sex with 2 different women at the same time. It was, he was dating 2 women at the same time. He's in a love triangle. He had pretty revealing sex scenes in that.
Exactly.
That's the reason. That was a Hollywood decision. That was a studio decision. They was not going to put the new Hollywood sweetheart in no scene with a black dude, a sex scene with a black dude. It wasn't happening. I don't care if he's Denzel Washington, who is, the most.
Denzel and Julia, I tried to make it look good. I tried to keep race out of it. These two Negroes wanted to be. They feel
it like it is.
I'm keeping it up for you, Denzel.
I'm keeping it real, man.
Denzel do what he got to do because he is an artiste. He's an actor.
Exactly.
He does what the role calls for. Julia Roberts, like I said, at that point, we're talking about Sleeping with the Enemy, Steel Magnolias, and Pretty Woman under her belt. Pretty Woman shot her into that stratosphere where she was Hollywood's new sweetheart. Everybody was, white man was in love with Julia Roberts. There was no way that they were going to put her on screen in a sex scene with any black person, including Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
And that's why
I don't want to hear that crap.
That's why they didn't do it. That's why they didn't.
Well, Denzel, since they brought it there, I'm just gonna bring it home. I just gotta bring it home. Denzel, I hate to say this, but that's when Hollywood put you in your place and let you know you still in.
Yeah, you ain't that big. You ain't that big. You ain't that big, my brother. I know you did Malcolm X. I know you got an Oscar, but you ain't. Look, this is everything. Sorry, man. You just ain't that big just yet, man. We can't put you in America's Sweetheart. What are you, crazy? No one's gonna want to come see that shit.
I don't see that exactly.
Like, excuse me, sir. Why are you pulling your pants down? Hey, put that jock strap down. Exactly. There'll be no sexual intercourse in this film. You get your shit together. Put your clothes on. You put your suit back on. You will not be touching
Kanye. To quote Kanye West, even if you in a Benz, you still a nigga in a coupe.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right. I'm going with A Time to Kill.
I'm going with A Time to Kill as well.
Just because of the
I did like that movie better than the
Exactly. I don't want to hear that crap.
No, Time to Kill was just I think it was a better movie.
It was a better movie.
Yeah, I agree. It is, but really, A Time to Kill is more about McConaughey. Like you could have had someone else playing.
Yeah.
The part that she played.
Sandra's part was not as big as Julia's part in the Pelican Brief. That's
right. But it really is that racial thing. Like really, like in 1997, you really couldn't have had Julia Roberts in bed with Denzel Washington. Come on, really?
Right, but they couldn't do that with him being in the show, and that's from both angles. Because remember, and the other reason why I said what I said is the other reason why I said what I said too was the other reason why Denzel wouldn't have slept with her was because it's not to hurt his fan base, because he wasn't going to sleep with her and then have all the black women in America be like, nigga, what you doing?
Nah, man, Denzel would have did it because he's an artist.
Listen.
It wasn't his
decision.
I'm telling you, it wasn't his decision. It was the studio decision. That was never written in the script.
Never.
They never wrote it in the script.
They just kind of glanced over that whole. Oh, you said it in the book. Nah, we got to change it for Hollywood. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah, it never even came to their. I don't even know if it even came to their attention. They may not even have known about it. If they just went strictly off the script. Let's say they didn't even read.
No, he knew about it. Denzel knew about it because he mentioned it in the interview. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying.
What'd he say?
He said, maybe I'm mistaking it with another movie, but I remember him saying that he did not sleep with that white woman because he did not want to mess up what he had going with the rest of Black America, specifically with Black women in America.
So he didn't have any problem doing a movie called Philadelphia with Tom Hanks, where he's defending a gay male, right? He had no problem with that.
Right, because because he's not sleeping with that gay man.
But that's the reason. No, what I was about to say was that he had no problem doing that, where he's defending a gay man, right? And he's being embraced by the gay and lesbian community. He's being embraced by the community. But if he did a scene where he was going to be in the bed, not sleeping with Julia Roberts, he was going to be in bed with her. Now you're going to alienate black women?
Yeah, listen, Ralph. Behind the scenes, what is most of Hollywood? Most of Hollywood is gay, lesbian, or really gay. Is really full of gay men. A lot of gay men is in Hollywood, especially back around that time. A lot of people in the closet. So of course, it's gonna, especially with his Oscar chances. Why wouldn't he? It's not like he's having sex with this guy. He's an attorney. He's an attorney where he's holding up the civil rights of a man, of a man at the same time. And go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Kev. I definitely don't think that would have been a problem, But I'm gonna have to find. I'm gonna have to find and research if that's what he was talking about. And number one, I'm gonna be honest with you. Either way, I believe that if there, you know, Denzel being who Denzel is, where he's an artist first, he's an actor, thespian first. If it came to him in script form, in that way, where you know their character, just like if they said we're gonna stick to the book, I believe he would have did it. Now, regardless of the fact, you know, even if he said that in an interview and he was, I don't know if he was actually talking about that film. We don't know. We have to research that. I don't even think that it was never even supposed to be in the movie. They never even bought it like that. I don't even think it was in the script.
I don't either.
Oh, yeah, they changed a few things from the book.
I think it was in the script. I honestly I don't know why I'm remembering this, but I think it was in the script. And there was a big to do about it. I think we're all. I think to a degree.
Well, guess
I think
what?
we're all
Another
right.
thing Denzel ain't gonna do is he ain't gonna admit that the studio cut it out because of why they cut it out. So to be honest with you, I hate to say it. I don't really believe that. I don't believe
that for 1 minute. Not for one damn minute.
And he's not gonna come out and say that. Why would he do that? He wouldn't come out and say that. He wouldn't say the studio cut it out because, you know, they didn't want to see a black man with a white. We know why the studio would cut it out, but he wouldn't say that. He couldn't say that. Not, you know, he couldn't say that.
He wouldn't say it now because now, even that's how he personally felt. He certainly would not say it publicly. No. Why? Because then you're gonna have the white population that would come see his movie. The white women will say, "Well, nah, man, fuck you." That's why we got Idris Elba now. Forget you, Denzel. We don't need you no more.
And not even that. It's just that. Especially even at that point in his career. I mean, Denzel at this point is in the later stages of his career. He's made his money, blah blah blah. But in that point in his career, he's not going to speak out against Hollywood.
Oh, here it is. It wasn't that he didn't sleep with her. It was why he refused. He said that because it was he didn't want to kiss her. It didn't have nothing to do with a sex scene. It was about kissing her. That was why he didn't kiss. What I said was why he didn't kiss her. Why he refused to kiss her on screen.
Okay.
I could go with that one. You didn't have to kiss the screen, but they could have shot the scene where you're in the bed with her. Not saying you had to kiss. It could have been made like the two of you was in bed and you getting out the bed, going to put your pants back on.
Right. You didn't have to kiss her. Yeah, it's not about showing the actual sex scene. It's about sticking to the source material.
Exactly.
But here it is though. Here's what he said. In 1996, unfortunately for fans, Washington is married and has been for 35 years. So the only woman lucky enough to cozy up to Washington are his own screen counterparts, except for Julia Roberts, of course. Now that goes back to what I said. The other women that he slept with is because they were black. That's why he did that on screen. He didn't sleep with Julia Roberts on screen. I mean, he didn't kiss Julia Roberts on screen because he was not going to mess up. He didn't want to mess up his thing with his black female fan base. I specifically remember him saying that.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe that neither.
I'm just saying I don't believe that
neither.
I believe he's covering for Hollywood. I'm just saying.
I don't believe it. I think Warner Brothers.
Listen, they didn't say it was because of the sex scene. You guys might be 100% right. The sex scene probably was never in the script.
Oh, okay.
But he did refuse. It came out of his mouth. He said he personally refused to kiss Julia Roberts.
I have no problem with you sitting there saying I didn't want to kiss Julia Roberts because she's white. Or if that's how you feel, I don't want to offend my black wife. Okay. It's a huge contradiction to the fact that you kiss other girls in movies, but okay. But my point is that when they did the script, but we all the two of you were very adamant about sticking to the source material.
This too. When did this interview come out? So he actually said, how long ago was this interview? This must have been after he was Denzel.
Because,
this was that. I remember it being said back in the day, but he said it again. I don't know who. I'm trying to think about who he
must have been after a certain point in his career, because if he's in the earlier stages of the career, like when that film came out, he would have never said that because that's looked upon.
No, I remember it. This is why I'm adamant about what I'm saying. I remember it being said back in the day, but I remember again, it was the thing that refreshed it for me was the interview he had. I almost want to say he was on the Breakfast Club or something like that.
Oh, that was recent then. If he was on the Breakfast Club, yeah, was that? That's
like. Well, that in the last 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Already Denzel.
All right,
he's not even Denzel Washington no more.
What I'm trying to say is, I remember it back in the day. It being said, and I don't remember who it was that said it to me. It was an insider that said it to me. It wasn't like something that was like common knowledge.
That been career suicide to put that out there in the public. To say that in public at that point in his career would be career suicide, because anybody would put that out there. Anybody would conceive that to be they could look at it to be racist. You know what I'm saying?
I found it. Okay, I think I found what it looked. It said, now I'm reading this article here. It says of actors who refuse to touch each other on the screen. It says to this, and it doesn't say when this was written. It does it. Updated in. It was written in June of last year. It says here that to this day, Denzel Washington and Julia Roberts call each other dear friends after starring in the 1993 drama The Pelican Brief. However, it said that Washington turned down a steamy love scene between the two of them, as he's reportedly very conscious about how his fans react to him in interracial scenes.
Nice.
According to Newsweek writer Allison Samuels, Washington turned down this scene out of loyalty to his female African American fans.
Right.
The star reportedly soured to the idea of interracial love scenes after an on-screen kiss between him and Mimi Rogers drew loud boos from black women in a test screening audience for the 1989 film The Mighty Quinn. Black women are not often seen as objects of desire on film, Washington says. They have always been my core audience. Roberts confirmed that it was Washington's idea to cut the scene, although she's sorry she missed out on the opportunity. Don't I have a pulse? The actress asked. Of course, I wanted to kiss Denzel. It was his idea to take the damn scenes out. If the rumors are to be believed, Washington also lobbied to get scenes between him and Australian actress Radha Mitchell cut from the film Man on Fire for similar reasons, but the star's representative denied it today. Of course, by the time Flight hit theaters, it seemed Washington had changed his mind when it came to locking lists of white actresses.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
He was. Yeah, I guess he changed his mind when it came to Flight with what's her face, her fine ass. Harley Quinn. Wasn't that Harley Quinn?
No.
Harley Quinn.
No, it wasn't. It's
who was that?
What's that girl's name? The girl that he got with. I think her name is Kelly Riley.
Kelly Riley, that was her name.
She was the one that he met at, that was fresh out of rehab.
That was the stewardess, yeah.
No, she wasn't the stewardess. She wasn't the stewardess. She was the one who was actually.
She's the one. That chick is the one that everybody was rumoring that he was really sleeping with.
Yeah,
saying that he really slept with her.
I don't know about that part, but okay.
Well,
yeah, but I knew I had that right, because I remember, like I said, I remember back in the day. That's why, even though you're saying
you remember back in the day, but I just don't. I can't see that coming out in the public. When you say back in the day, well, we're in 2020 now. You're talking about the Pelican Brief was in the 90s, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
when
about.
That happened. So I'm thinking, like, for that to come out in the public, doesn't seem like that would be a good thing for that to come out in the public at all. But regardless of the fact, we'll have to start doing some tracing and stuff like that. Let's get back to the list. We'll do some tracing back to when it was actually.
Yeah, we gotta find that out.
The person who wrote that was written last year, and once again, they're writing everything that they're writing is saying allegedly, and it was said, and it was this, and it was to believed, and if the rumor was to believed, it was said. No, I want to see the quotes. You know what I'm saying? Like when he said it. But anyway, it's all good. Either way, I'm still going with A Time to Kill. So, at the end of the day, so let's move forward. We spent way too much time on the Pelican Brief.
I think he did smash behind us. I think he smashed Julia behind the scenes. I'm just saying.
I think he did too, and she probably let him.
She sounded upset that they didn't do it on screen.
Yeah,
all right,
so I'm gonna have to get it in. Come on, you know these actors be fucking around with each other off camera. You want to set all
you already know Denzel and the Spanish chick. What's her name?
Eva, not Eva Green.
Eva Mendes.
Mendes? Oh yeah,
Eva Mendes. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know about that. So, okay. Let's go. Let's move on.
Julia Roberts gonna kiss anyway because they both got big ass teeth. So how they both gonna kiss anyway?
Yeah, right. Number 6 is In Love and War. Sandra Bullock. Number 6, Dying Young. Julia Roberts.
I didn't.
In Love and War, I think that was the one about what was his name? Hemingway, was it? Or,
yeah, I didn't really like it. I didn't
Hemingway
really like
or something like that.
I barely liked Dying Young, but for this I liked it more than Love and War. I remember when that came out, they were saying Dying Young. You know, Julia Roberts at the time, it was going to kill the box office, and it's really a box office bomb. They actually thought that was going to be the movie of the summer.
I remember them saying that it was going to be so great.
Yeah, it was going to be the movie of the summer, and they just said, "Now Terminator 2 is not going to do nothing. It's going to be regulated." Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, Maddie says here they can't wait to get down after director say cut.
Exactly.
Talking about Robertson.
I think we need to have some. We need to practice.
We need to practice.
I'm coming to your trailer. We need to practice.
We gotta practice the scene, but wait a minute, they cut the scene. Why are we practicing it?
It's a revision. It's a revision.
Yeah. So all right. So In Love and War versus Dying Young. Yeah, I was not crazy about either one of them. In Love and War was a little boring to me. I think I fell asleep on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Got a little boring to me. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Dying Young. I think I stayed away.
Both of them bitches. I don't remember either one.
They both, yeah, both of them were not their greatest moments, but you know, they're similar type of films.
I think I remember Dying Young a little bit.
I saw Dying Young when she was caring for the guy that had cancer, and and she originally, I remember she told him she was a candy striper, and
yeah. I guess I'll go with that one.
I guess I'll go with that one. All right, so that's Dying Young is the winner. So now, cool.
Who would you wait a minute before we get who? If you were the actor, who would you smash? Would you smash Sandra? Or would you smash Julia?
I'd go with
Sandra. What are you talking about?
I'm taking Sandra.
I don't know, man. I think I'm going the other way with this one. I'd go with Julia.
I think I'm going with Sandra.
Sandra's probably got a little, you know, better body. Like she built a little better, but Julia looks better in the face. Sandra, I was never really big on her. The flat part of the tip of her nose is flat, and it always kind of bothered me. I'm just saying.
Damn.
But I think, you know, I like her, but you know, yeah. Sandra seems. I'd hang out with Sandra first. She seems more fun. She seems like she'd be more fun. But
you sleep with Sandra, but you marry you
exactly.
Julia.
So smash Sandra, marry Julia, right?
Sorry, Sandra Bullock.
So okay, number 7, Practical Magic, Sandra Bullock. That was the film she was in with
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. I don't know why all these names escape me today. And number 7, Ready to Wear, Julia Roberts.
Practical Magic.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
taking
everything
Practical
with
Magic.
it.
I did like Practical Magic. I
I did like Practical Magic.
I enjoyed that. Okay, so we got that. Another one for Sandra. Then we have number 8, 28 Days, Sandra Bullock, and number 8, Mona Lisa Smile, Julia Roberts.
28 Days.
That's a
That's
good
why
one.
it didn't make me smile too often. So 28 Days.
Mona Lisa Smile was interesting because that had that had like 2 or 3 actresses that I always used to confuse with each other. It had like Julia Stiles, old girl from what's her name? That was in Spider-Man, the original first
Kirsten
Spider-Man.
Dunst.
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst, Julia Stiles, and there was someone else. I'm like, I always get those actresses.
I think Maggie Gyllenhaal is in it.
Maggie Gyllenhaal's in it, and I'm like, I always get those actresses mixed up, and for some reason, they all ended up in this same movie. It was just weird. I actually liked Mona Lisa's Smile. Because they were giving her hell. They were giving her some hell in that movie a little bit. Because she was like the teacher in that.
Yeah, my ex name is Mona or Ramona. So yeah.
So now he's
going more trolling. More trolling.
He's going with 28 Days. 28 Days was, once again, we're doing another movie where it seems like Julia always ends up in movies with a lot of people. Where even though she was the lead in that movie, she was the biggest star in that movie.
It was still a lot of interaction. There was a lot of interactions.
A lot of interaction in there. Whereas Sandra is in a movie where, she definitely has a co-star most of the time, a decent co-star, but she's kind of
her dialogue. It's mostly her carrying dialogue.
Yeah, yeah, she is mostly her carrying dialogue. That's a good one though.
I'm gonna take 28 Days in that one also. I'm only I was okay, but I like 28 Days.
All right, so regardless of what I say, 28 Days wins. So it doesn't.
And Sandra got a better smile to me.
Better smile than Mona Lisa, huh? So okay.
This is Mona Lisa, but the Mona Lisa was really smirking. If we gonna keep it,
I know she's smirking. I know. So. Number 9, this is a real good one, I think. Miss Congeniality versus Runaway Bride.
Oh, damn.
This
This
is a good one.
I'm sorry.
I was married to that bitch when Runaway Bride came out. And you know what?
So that's an easy one for Kev, I guess.
I'm going with Runaway Bride because that was a good goddamn movie, boy. Her and Richard Gere did the damn thing in that, boy. That movie was good. I actually really loved that movie.
The Gere,
me and the ex
Gere
got to watch
Roberts,
that movie a lot. Yeah.
The Gere Roberts reunion in that film.
I'm taking Miss Congeniality.
You brought me back to my little apartment in Amityville. Right across the train station. Me and TJ used to sit down and watch that movie back to back sometimes.
Runaway Bride. Wow.
Yeah, we liked that. That and Notting Hill.
I'm going with the Runaway Bride. I just thought it was,
definitely the better
Richard
movie.
Richard Gere and Julia Roberts could make movies forever. Like they got so much good chemistry on camera. It's ridiculous. So it's like that movie, everybody, I mean, now granted, it wasn't Pretty Woman, but that movie was,
it was what it was. It was
what it was. It was its own thing. I'm not saying it was Pretty Woman, but they're going to compare it to Pretty Woman because that was the film they were in together at first.
But listen, if Pretty Woman didn't come out, this movie would have still been a smash.
Yeah.
It still would have. In my opinion, it still would have did good because, and like you said, her and him together is like Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks together. They're perfect.
Yeah, they got that.
I like that.
That's a good comparison. I like that. They definitely. So okay, so that one goes to Julia Roberts. Yeah, that one. Okay, so now we have number 10, Murder by Numbers, really good ass movie, Sandra Bullock, versus Conspiracy Theory, Julia Roberts.
Mel Gibson. Jesus. Whew.
Okay.
Murder by Numbers.
No,
for me.
I'm going with conspiracy theory because I'm tired of some of these actresses that look soft as hell doing movies where all of a sudden like you mega tough. Sandra Bullock did it.
Sandra Bullock is tough. Leave Sandra
Melanie,
Bullock alone.
No. At that point, and see, maybe it's because it's coming after Miss Congeniality, I think, or after a bunch of kind. But Sandra Bullock was tough. But Sandra Bullock was tough in Demolition Man. I'll give that one. But did I really take her as this tough, this turf, hard boiled detective in Murder by Numbers? No, I just didn't believe it right off the bat.
But Ralph, if you look at it though, if you look at who she was in Murder by Numbers, that was kind of sort of the same character that she became at the end of The Net. Like she became this hardened, very tough exterior and interior, woman who
because of what she
basically had a backbone and had some balls to her.
Well, she had to because of what she went through.
Yeah. So she was kind of forced. So that's why I was able to buy it. I don't think she came off as being soft but too hard. And I think Murder by Numbers was the better movie to me anyway.
Conspiracy theory. You went with Ralph. You went with conspiracy.
I'm going with conspiracy theory.
Kev's with Murder by Numbers. I liked both of the films very much, so I did enjoy Murder by Numbers though. So I'm gonna go with that one. So Murder by Numbers wins there. Number 11, Crash. Ensemble cast, as we know, but Sandra Bullock was in it. Versus Notting Hill.
Oh, Notting Hill. All fucking day. Yeah. Oh my God. Yo, listen. How can you mend this broken man? I listen. You know what? I'm not even gonna go on about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, Teddy. It sounds like that you need to be taking that movie out for dinner and drinks the way you're raving about it. Like,
I'm keeping it up. Anybody who knows me know I keep it a buck about everything. That night at the movies, although I should say those several nights at the movies, was some of the best times of my marriage. Like, that movie was everything. Like I remember we were sitting in the United Artists in Farmingdale. Actually, no, it wasn't the United Artists. We were sitting at the Farmingdale Multiplex. We saw that, and we were eating. And we snuck in Applebee's. We had Applebee ribs and a whole bunch of other food while we were watching that movie.
Yeah, well, so okay.
And that's just, the movie is
I'm going
good.
with that as well.
Movie is just so good.
It was good.
I'm going with Notting Hill as well. It's what I find funny about that movie is that for some strange reason, whenever it comes on cable, no matter what part of the movie is on, I'll sit there and watch it, and I really like it. And that's rare when I sit there and say that no matter when it comes on, that's like Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, stuff like that. But it's a romantic comedy, and I've always found myself looking at it again and liking it just as much as the first time I saw it, even though I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I
think Julia got a nomination. She got an award nomination for that film.
Yeah, and that was what's his face is that was to me that was one of my favorite movies by that dude. Like he got his heart broke. Like that dude.
Yeah, Notting Hill in the Sweep. So next up is number 12, The Proposal, Sandra Bullock versus number 12, My Best Friend's Wedding, Julie Roberts.
The Proposal. For me.
I'm gonna go to Proposal. Seeing Sandra Bullock dropping it like it's hot was it Sandra Bullock and Betty White? Sold it for me right there.
Yeah, that's great. Proposal.
Get low.
Okay, number 13, The Lake House. That is talk about reunions. That's the reunion of Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. The Lake House versus Stepmom, Julia Roberts, along with who was that? Shirley MacLaine. Who was in that with her? Not Shirley MacLaine. Was that Susan Sarandon? Susan Sarandon and Julia Roberts and Stepmom.
Listen, I love Susan Sarandon, but Joe,
I can't.
I love Susan Sarandon.
The Lake House.
I'm going with the Lake House, man. I just like.
Did you just say the Lake House sucked, right?
I think the Lake House sucks. I'm sorry.
The Lake House.
I actually paid to see it. I thought it sucked.
Just for the concept of it alone.
Yeah.
I thought the Lake House. Yeah, it was so different.
But through the mailbox? Come on, man.
That's a time travel movie.
On, man.
That's a time travel movie. Time travel movies is always going to win over me because
that's why I said it, because I knew my man was going to come through.
You knew
time travel, goddamn.
You know me. I'm putting it out there again for anyone, for all you out there listening that may or may not know about the director. There are two genres of movie, or not really genres, but type of movies that I will always give it a go, whether it ends up sucking or not. I'm gonna always give it a go. That is time travel movies and vampire movies. I'm always going to give them a go. I just watched the Vampires versus the Bronx. That shit was actually pretty good. It was pretty funny. It's basically Vampires versus the Bronx is basically The Lost Boys 2020. That's what it is. But set in the Bronx with Bronx kids, like the Black and Latino kids. But it's basically The Lost Boys 2020. So with that being said, I say give it a watch. If you haven't seen it yet, give it a go. It's on Netflix. It's enjoyable. And it's good to see kid films. Like, I like to see kid films where the kids are being, kids, meaning like they're not potty mouthing and a whole bunch of cursing all over the place and stuff like that, but they're still being kids, they're still being funny, kind of, there you go. So, but it really does it has some real elements from the Lost Boys. But anyway, so I'm going with the Lake House. It's just so different.
But it's not the Lost Boys.
It's not the Lost Boys.
Did you just say, wait, did this Negro just say potty mouthing?
Yep, potty mouthing.
I know, didn't he?
I said potty mouth. Yeah, I got an infant. I got an infant, man.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I got to start. Shoot, I got to curb my potty mouth because I'll be cussing up a storm. I mean, she's only 7 months, but still, before you know, she's starting to learn words. I don't want her to be like shit, shit.
And Ralph, the other reason why I like the Lake House, Ralph, is because it's about an architect. So
okay, there you go.
Now
the lake House is dope. I don't care. That was a dope idea.
It was a dope
idea.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to look at that again. I saw it and I was like, "What is this crap?" It's like really a magical mailbox.
It's
like
time travel, man.
Nah,
time travel.
See, it may be. I don't know. Because I know most people say time travel, they'll take Star Trek.
But the concept was dope. It's not just a magical mailbox. Like the concept of it was dope. The way they did it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I liked about it. Neither here nor there. The Lake House wins.
Now somewhere in time, that I did like. I mean, but that time travel movie, Somewhere in Time. Mm-hmm. I really like that. Christopher Reeves didn't get way enough credit for that he should have, but that was good. That was really good.
Too busy keeping him as Superman.
Yeah, and that made you cry at the end. That he went through all that stuff and he pulls out a coin and it's all over. Like, damn.
Yeah. Somewhere in Time, another good one. So, number 14. That one went to Sandra. Number 14 is Sandra Bullock, Premonition. Versus number 14, August, whatever that is, Osage County. That's the one that I was thinking about with Meryl in it. Where Meryl Streep was like really like the real. I mean, Julia was one of the stars of the film, and Meryl stole the show with her character. But I'm going with Premonition because I thought that was also another different idea. Like the way that played out. It had my boy on there too, my boy from Nip Tuck. It's in there. But that's Julian McMillan or whatever his name was. He was in that. But Premonition I thought was really dope because it was just different. It was a different type of film. You know. You gonna say that sucked too, Ralph? Because she was waking up and he was dead, then she was waking up and he was alive, then she was waking up.
No. I'm not gonna say that it sucked. I did think that it was a female twist on Memento, where you kind of,
Good point.
So I guess I would go with Premonition because August County is like, okay, the family getting together, we hate each other, we're gonna argue, and then
they're all fighting and arguing. Yeah, exactly.
Then at the end, we're all good. No, no,
that's not realistic.
That's not realistic.
Niggas be fighting with family. I know what my family is. Big up to the Clark family. Well, I mean, now at the end of the day, if someone else step on us, we'll get together and whoop somebody ass. We'll come together. But I've seen people in my family get punched in the face over a video game. So let's be honest.
You had the last of the potato salad slap.
Yeah. So it's what it is. And sometimes you be leaving those family functions like, look, I've had enough. I've had my fill.
I ain't never coming back. Coming back.
So okay, so we're going with Sandra on that one too. Premonition. All right. We're more than halfway through. We're down to the last 5 actually. So number 15, The Blind Side. Here we go. The two big, later in their careers, 2 big roles for them. Going head to head. The Blind Side versus Aaron Brockovich.
Oh my God.
Both of them got awards for that one, or at least nominations. They might have both won the awards for that.
They both won. They both
won for that one. So that's award versus award. Both of them portraying real people. Keep that in mind. Both of them portraying actual people in the films. Very cool. I thought that was a.
I gotta go with The Blind Side because not only are you playing, you're playing a mom, okay, but you're also having to pick up this Southern accent too, and you're acting against this kid that is a relatively newcomer. Actually, you're acting with 3 kids, really, And I just thought The Blind Side was a better movie, and maybe it was because it was based on a person who I actually heard of compared to Aaron Brockovich, who I had never heard of before. But I just thought it was the better movie.
Okay. Yeah. They were both good though. I think they were both good. And I agree with you there. I hadn't heard of Aaron Brockovich before the movie. Very
I heard of Michael Herr before. I knew he was a tackle.
Yeah, exactly.
Now just to see his backstory was like
backstory
wow.
And the mother and the character there. I think Sandra really nailed it. I agree with you. But then yeah, she did have that. Where in the South were they from? She had that Southern accent. But yeah,
I want to say
Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi. Yeah.
Mississippi.
Yeah, because they wanted to go to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go with The Blind Side as well. We'll go with The Blind Side on that one. Sandra doing her thing on that one. Okay, number 16, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. Sandra Bullock versus Charlie Wilson's War. Both women opposite Tom Hanks.
Damn. See, I would say incredibly loud, and I mean extremely loud, just for the scene where her son is cursing her out and she don't slap him. Because that little kid need to get his ass whooped. Sorry,
Yeah, but
he really did.
It was
He
just
really did.
that movie was deep though, man. With the obviously it's around 9/11. The topic itself. Sandra had some good scenes in there. A lot of crying.
Yeah, a lot of crying.
A lot of crying.
In
that film.
Our government did that. So that's first of all. Number two, Sandra Bullock lied, because in real life, Sandra Bullock is not letting no kid talk to her like that and not smack the living crap out of their behind. So
that's what I'm saying. That's a hell of an actress.
Yes on that.
That's a hell of an actress right there. Like I know she looked like she looking like on camera like, yeah, I know you wish it was me instead of him, but when the camera was like, look, you say that shit to me, I'm did you not see me in Demolition Man? I will Jackie Chan your ass.
Man,
okay, if you are 8 years old.
Well, let me tell you, I'll say this because I'm not gonna say that crazy, but I'll say this: I've witnessed a lot of young black boys get their ass whipped because they were over their white friend's house and saw their white friend talking to their mother like that. So they tried to mimic it and got put through the wall. Now I've seen that. That's where I'm gonna leave it. So Eddie Murphy talked about it in he talked about it in Delirious, where he was saying
Rodney, go clean your room. Bitch, who the fuck you talking to? I ain't cleaning shit. Nigga, what?
I believe Eddie Murphy talked about it in Delirious. It might have been.
Mm-hmm.
He said he saw his white friend cursing out his mother, and he said he said, man, if I tried that at my house, he said his father just pulled out the gun and shot him. That was like
I got this video on my Instagram someone sent me, and it shows this little white boy yelling at his white mom. She's saying, if you don't stop, you're gonna get a timeout. You have to stop talking like that. Then they showed this black kid say that to his dad in the car, and the kid is saying, yo, dad, just shut up, just shut the F up. So dad's like, okay. Then you see him putting the body in the ground. They put the dirt in the body.
Yeah, just like on Everybody Hates Chris, that show. Yeah. I remember one time he said something, and she literally slapped his ass into next week. She slapped him, and then he woke up. He's like, yo, wake up. He's like, well, what day is it? He slapped him into next week. She literally slapped his ass in the next week. She slapped him. He was like, it was Sunday, man. He said, what?
But she slapped me on Monday. What happened? You talk back. That's what happened.
Yo, and that's funny. And I remember very, very quick funny story. Mother, rest in peace. I literally that technically happened to me. If you want to say it's a technical thing, because it was like on a Saturday night one time, and I don't know what the hell I did, something wrong. I got my ass whooped, and then I didn't wake up till Sunday afternoon.
Oh yeah, you got
you got.
So I technically got slapped into next week.
Wow.
Yeah. I went in my room after. Well, I was thrown in my room after I was, told to go in my room. I closed my door and I slept for a whole entire day. I didn't wake up until next week. So
wow,
I literally got beat into next week. So okay, so what are we going with? Charlie Wilson's War or Extremely Loud?
I'm sticking with Extremely Loud.
I'm gonna go with Extremely Loud. I really liked. I thought that good performance from. I think it was a better performance from Sandra than it was from Julia. And Julia she pulled off an accent in that Charlie Wilson's War thing, right? It was like an English type of accent or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 17, The Heat. Sandra Bullock versus number 17, the Mexican, Julia Roberts and Brad Pitt. And the Heat was Sandra Bullock and the other comedian lady. What's her name?
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yo, that shit was funny. God damn, that shit
funny.
was funny.
It sure was.
Okay,
and I was looking for them to do more movies together after that because their chemistry was so good in that. Man, their chemistry was so good in that.
Okay, number 8. So that goes to Sandra, The Heat. Number 18, Gravity. Sandra Bullock versus number 18, Duplicity. Julia Roberts and Clive Owen.
Gravity.
Do you really gotta ask that question? I mean, not for the. Do you really gotta ask? I'm sorry. I said this before. Julia Roberts don't have nothing in her entire movie career that measures up to Gravity. Not one thing.
Not one thing.
Not one.
No, that's the one.
You know how I feel, and you know how I feel about space. I call bullshit all across the board. But listen,
it still makes for good movies.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. She did that shit. And when George Clooney floated off on his own, when he basically accidentally floated off, I was like, God damn, George.
Come back, man. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
I was reaching out for George. Like, come back, George. Come back.
I was reaching out for George myself. Oh man, that's funny. Because I'm laughing because I kind of felt that way too. Gravity gave me anxiety, bro. Like that movie gave me anxiety. Like watching it, like gave me anxiety, and I was just like, ugh. Like I loved it, but I'm just saying, like I can't watch that movie a lot. It gives me anxiety just looking at it.
I only seen Gravity once, and I think we talked about this when the movie first came out. I was like, I'm not seeing that trash ass movie. Listen, by the time that movie was out, I had wet eyes and was like, "Come back, George."
I'm gonna be honest. When she was in the capsule and she was thinking about ending it, and he showed up, I was like, "Oh shit, he really lived." And it was all dream. I was like,
"Yo, that's the craziest mind fuck right there when they did that."
Yeah, at the end.
I thought he really
floated into eternity.
Yeah, I really thought he revolved around the earth like a satellite and showed up and saved her. I was like, oh, and it was really a dream. Damn.
Yo, Ralph, listen. Even though that did, I'm not gonna lie, it did catch me off guard too. I was thinking this kind of sort of speaking the same thing too at first. But listen, when you really pay attention to that scene like I am right now, yo, that nigga was floating off in the other direction, bro.
But I really thought that he floated around the earth, right?
Listen,
and came back to the spot, and he had lived. He still had oxygen because it was still oxygen.
No, Ralph, that dude was out of the gravitational pull when he floated off. He was out. That's why I was like, "Come back, George, please," because that dude, he was slipping out. It
was that movie gave me anxiety though, but it was really done well.
That was the first movie I really saw in IMAX, and it's really claustrophobic.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's why I first saw it in IMAX too, and I think that was my mistake. That shit gave me anxiety. I'm already afraid of heights. Like I felt like I was in there with that shit,
and that's me up. That's the part. The only part that gave me anxiety is when she first breaks off from the space shuttle, and you see her floating in the space, and you see like racing space because it's going into this blackness, and now the entire theater is black, and it's like, oh damn, and it's cold in the theater too.
Yeah.
That's the part that jacked it up for me. This is me. This is me being me. See, this was some of the parts in the movie that I couldn't like, where the what do they call it? The illusion got broken for me.
Yeah.
If we're on the Earth, this is why I firmly believe nobody has never left out of the upper atmosphere. Because if we're on the Earth, and we're looking up at stars, And depending on where you live, because of light pollution, or whatever the case may be, if you're living in an area that has less light pollution, and also if you're living in an area where the axis and the spin of the earth is at the angle that it's at that spot where you're at night, you're going to see different constellations. You're going to see different stars. There's a lot of things you're going to see. Yeah. I'm like, you are in space. Stars are every fucking where. Like, you should see every goddamn thing.
Well,
they get in space. What are
either way?
But space is black. I mean, this. I mean,
Ralph, do you remember when the lights went out back in 2003?
Yeah.
When you looked up in the sky, what did you see?
You saw the stars. You could actually see the stars. Even when I lived in Germany, when I lived in Germany, right? We lived in Bullock. And behind our house, it was you could actually see the stars because they don't really really like more of like a village compared to a city. It was really like a village, but the light, like you said, light pollution at night. Everybody has lights on, so I can actually see into the sky, and I would see thousands of stars. Like, wow,
Right. But if you see that from the ground, Ralph, what do you think you're going to see when you get in the upper atmosphere?
But the thing is that you're seeing the light refraction from the stars. When you're in space, I would imagine there's nothing for light to bounce off because it's all black.
What are you talking about? What do you be talking about? You're seeing the same thing in the sky when you're in space as the same thing you're seeing on Earth.
Well, apparently both of y'all have been to space because I ain't never know either one. But
I mean, if you count 1,000 times I've seen Empire Strikes Back, then yeah, I've been in space a lot.
either way. So let's wrap this up. It looks like Sandra's kind of running away with it now.
Yeah, she is.
She's starting to run away with it. So we did Gravity. Gravity 1, Ocean's 8. That's number 19. I was about to say Ocean's 19. Number 19, Ocean's 8 versus Julia's role in Ocean's. It's supposed to be Ocean's 12 because she had more of a role in Ocean's 12 than she did in Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 12 was the one with all the women, right?
No, that was Ocean's 8. That was Ocean's 8.
That was Ocean's 8.
That's the one with all the women.
That's right.
Ocean's 12. Remember, she was Ocean's wife. Tess.
Wife, right.
Tess had more of a role in Ocean's 12. That's the one where she actually played herself and played her character.
I'm going with Sandra. I'm going with Sandra and them because Riri was in that, and Riri was in that. Hands off. Riri was in that. Did I say Rihanna was in that?
Yeah, Rihanna.
I think I said
she was. I didn't know that. I didn't know Rihanna was in it.
Yeah.
She was. Oh, she was. That was her. Oh, okay.
That was her. Yeah. Like I said, Riri was in that. So
Riri and Rihanna. Yeah. So and Sandra played 2 roles in the other Ocean's 12. She played herself and she played Tess Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going with Ocean's 8 myself because I really did not think that it was going to be as good as it was because I knew that it said that like one of the guys from Ocean's series was going to be in it as a cameo, but I really didn't expect. I really expect it to be good, and I didn't really expect the chemistry between all of the girls, all the women, to be so great.
That shit worked.
Mm-hmm. It worked like they had known each other for years, and were working together, and they came with the same. I mean, that basically Ocean's 8 is the female Rat Pack.
Yeah,
if you really look at it.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what sold it for me. What sold it for me was before I even saw the movie. They were showing some behind the scenes stuff like before the movie came out. I don't know whether it was on Good Morning America. It was one of those. And they were just showing them talking behind the scenes. And I was just like, yo, the chemistry between them is dope. Like they're like, you could tell like they actually became friends. Like they was, so I was like, I couldn't wait to see that on screen. And it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. So I listen, Ocean's 8 all day for me. And people wanted that movie to fail. That's
they did. They really did.
Wow.
But
okay, let's round it out with number 20 is Bird Box versus the Money Monster. Julia Roberts and
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. When you was putting this together and you made this the last one, I just want to know why would you even put? Why would you even? You should have just told Julia Roberts, listen, we just not gonna put you in the last category. So,
I just kind of used that. They were both two of their more kind of recent movies. That's the only reason why. That's how I made that decision.
Well, I'm going to ask the question.
You would have been better off putting Pretty Woman up against Bird Box.
Yeah,
to make that more challenging. Yo, Bird Box was the shit, bro.
Bird Box was off the chain.
I mean, I'm gonna ask the question that the people in the chat room said, like, yo, on Julia Roberts' side, what happened to Hook and Mary Riley? Like, they just got glanced over.
Hook. I thought about it. I even thought about putting the animated one that she did in there, but I mean, it was what Hook?
What animated? What, Charlotte's Web?
No, she was in the Prince. No, that was the other one.
Sandra's in the Prince of Tide.
Sandra's in Prince of Tide, and then the other one was in Charlotte's Web, but whatever. Yeah. Nah, I just didn't want to go with Hook. I mean, she played Tinkerbell.
I wouldn't have went with Hook though. I would have put
Tinkerbell. Who was she beating with Tinkerbell? I want to at least make it competitive. And it turned out it still didn't end up competitive because Sandra ran away with it.
Yo, listen.
Sandra ran away with it. Down to one.
That last one. Listen, that last one. It wouldn't matter what you put up against Bird Box. Bird Box is always the answer. Listen, just across the board, even if it was a tie, do you know what would make it the tiebreaker?
Ooh,
Bird Box
destroyed her.
Bird Box is literally a word of a mouth. Like as soon as somebody said, "Yo, go watch Bird Box," what did people do? They went and watched Bird Box. And what did they do?
Bird Box. Maddie says Bird Box for the win. Yeah, Bird Box was that shit was so different, man. I loved it, man. And that became went so viral.
Yeah,
everybody was walking around blindfolded.
Wait, but now I got a question: which was actually better, Bird Box or A Quiet Place?
I think A Quiet Place was better, the better film.
Yeah,
they were up against even more
because of the suspensefulness of A Quiet Place.
Yeah,
it was better. Bird Box was more unpredictable.
That in the theater made you want to watch that in the theater. You felt like an a-hole if you made any noise. That movie was on. They all talking. It was mad quiet. I've never been in the theater, and I remember distinctly being in the theater. And I know I was with my wife, and I looked at her, and I was holding I had my hand over my mouth so I wouldn't laugh because there was this dude like 3 seats from us. It was mad quiet, and all you heard was. I was like, yo. Yeah. And people were turning around looking like, you ever see that Kermit the Frog meme that they have when he be looking with his face all shriveled up, like that's how everybody was looking at him. That they were giving him the Kermit face when he's got the mouth.
I just want to change gears for 1 second. Yo, right now I have it on mute. But right now I'm watching Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
This motherfucking shit was incredible, bro.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm gonna say that too, man.
It was awesome. I walked out of there. With a newfound respect for Sony. I walked out of that movie theater. I walked that movie theater with a whole newfound respect for Sony. I said, well, Sony finally said, you know what, we're gonna do something, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, and they did it. They did that thing.
Yeah, listen,
is that the best Spider-Man movie though?
Yeah, most definitely.
It could be.
I still think Spider-Man 2 is the best one, but
it could be.
The Spider-Universe is a damn close second.
Yeah.
Listen. This is the order. It's just like Rakim in KRS-One, 1A and 1B, and that's only because of the timing of when they came out. Yo, this movie is, listen, for me personally, the only reason why it's a step above Spider-Man 2 is because of the look on my grandson's face. Like, that's the first time in my life that I ever saw somebody look at the screen like, yo, that's me on the screen.
Yeah.
That's me. I can be that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo.
Yeah, it was.
Every time I watch this movie or I listen to the soundtrack, the first thing I think about is my grandson, man. It's like, I'll never forget that.
You know, we know in the news that reportedly they're going to bring Jamie Foxx, his Electro, back into the new MCU version of Spider-Man. But I'm thinking it's going to be like a multiverse thing, and that might be how they bring him in. But they don't say how they're not talking about the capacity. But think about it though, they're doing they're trying to do the Sinister Six. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they bring in Electro in for that. You know, I don't know. Is he
part of the Sinister Six?
Well, the Sinister Six actually rotated.
Well, he was
rotated out. So at one point he was part of the Sinister Six. Yeah.
I just think that they're gonna bring Jamie Foxx back as Electro. They can't make him too cartoonish. Like, I think that's what they did in that second Spider-Man when they made him, you know, the geeky nerd who is, you know, he's like, oh my god, I'm a Spider-Man fan. Now I hate him. So now I gotta don't do that one. Give him some.
And Jamie Foxx over, and not only there was a bad script, but Jamie Foxx just overacted that.
Yeah, he did.
He did too much.
And I hate to say it, but now going forward, we are now living in the post Joker era. You have to make him. You don't have to make him like Joker, but you have to give him some. You have to give that character much more groundness. Much more real.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. Electro? No, you don't. No. Jamie Foxx can do kind of sort of what he can bring that Electro character.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Kev. No, you go, Kev. I want you to finish your thought, but I'm gonna come right behind that.
He could pretty much do like what he did in well, he can't do the same thing because in that movie it's a little bit different. I can't. The name escapes me now of the Netflix movie Superpowers or whatever it was called.
Mm-hmm.
He showed you. I think. What would you say, Wes? What's it called?
Project Power.
Yeah, Project Power. I think in Project Power he made up for what he did wrong with Electro in Spider-Man 2. Again, bad script and just him overacting. Because even when he was talking about it. When he was talking about how he presented, like he said he had his hairstylist do the thing with the hair and give him the little stupid hair piece and all of that. It was ridiculous. He was just doing too much with it. And that's not who Electro was in the comics. Like, if he would have did his homework and the red comic, he could have championed for that character to be what it should have been. And which probably would have, to your point, Ralph, it would have made him a little bit more grounded. But it wouldn't have been like how the Joker was. He wasn't that. He was a criminal. That guy who played Electro in the comics, he was a criminal, but he was a criminal who ended up getting the power of electricity. I wish I could see him in that big green and yellow suit. That would be dope. But
no, that's not what I mean by like Joker. What I mean is that like I found that when he played Electro, that it was kind of cartoonish. It was something much more subtle for like Saturday morning compared to this. When I mean ground, like you have to give him more of a realism and take that cartoon. Do some of that cartoonish away.
Let's not forget where. Remember, he's coming into the MCU, so they haven't really let us down yet with their villains. So I'm gonna put my trust in them to give the.
Well, let's be some of the MCU villains. You're looking like. Really? Some of the MCU
like who?
Which one?
Well, what's his name from Iron Man 2? The what's his name character?
Whiplash? Whiplash?
Whiplash had a nice character arc and background and stuff. You know, the movie was okay. It was, you know, but
maybe that's
character arc.
But that's what I'm saying. Like some of the Marvel villains, like you have those that, like, we know Killmonger, Loki kills it, right?
Yeah.
But some of the other people are kind of like whoever was the villain in Thor: The Dark World. You're like, huh? Like,
well, those were just a bunch of people from another Earth,
right,
or wherever the hell they were.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I do have faith in the MCU.
I mean, think of the depth that they put into their villains. Like you already mentioned two of them. You got Killmonger, Loki, Thanos.
Yeah, the girl. What's her name?
Even Ultron.
Look at Hela.
Yeah, Hela. Thank you, Hela.
Ultron,
Hela was Hela.
For that matter.
Hela was Hela.
How Ultron came about, and if you think about, you know, it goes on. The list goes on with as far as the you know, the dimensions of the villains. About the how they did, you know, the Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah. I
even like what they did with Red Skull. I like that. I thought he was pretty damn good.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Hugo Weaver is a douchebag. I'm not gonna call him a dick, but he's a loose douchebag.
Oh, man.
Because he wouldn't come back. Because he wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
Joseph Tanner said he said, what about Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin? I'll tell you one thing about that, Joseph. My man who played him on the Marvel series on Netflix, that was the dude to play him.
Listen. You
know what I'm talking about. That's my man.
Duncan being dead. He made up for Michael Clark Duncan being dead.
Yeah.
That dude.
He was the Kingpin.
He was the Kingpin. My God.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
He's the shit. He was the only reason to watch that LA Law, the crime victims unit. He was the only reason to watch it. Really, he's like Andre Brandauer.
Ralph, but Ralph, everybody hated him though. Everybody called him Mr. Know-It-All.
That's okay, but that's the thing.
But that dude, when he played the Kingpin, oh my God. He really killed. I said, this dude, man, he was putting.
He should,
in my opinion, he was. But just you just took the words out of my mouth, Kev. I said that was award-worthy performance he was putting in that character. He brought so much depth to that character on so many levels, man. He destroyed that, man. He killed it. I sure hope, if you know, the rumor is that they're going to revise the Daredevil show and bring it, you know, to one, you know, I guess Disney Plus or wherever.
Bring him back.
They gotta bring him back, man. They gotta bring him back as the Kingpin.
They gotta bring both of them back. If they don't bring anybody back, they gotta bring him back, and they gotta bring Homeboy back who played
Charlie Cox. Yeah, they gotta bring. Everyone else can be replaced. You gotta bring back Charlie Cox. You gotta bring back the Kingpin. And as of right now, they're not. They haven't committed to bringing back Charlie Cox because he said he doesn't know anything about it if they're gonna bring him back.
I'm gonna be more honest with you. When they get around to bringing back Daredevil to the big screen, depending on how much longer, you need to get Vincent D'Onofrio onto the big screen.
Yeah, because he is. Because he. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's no stranger to the big screen as an actor.
No,
you know what I mean. Not. So get him in there on the big screen as the Kingpin, man. He is. Woo! Oh, matter of fact, I'd love to see him. Put him in a Spider-Man movie. You know what I'm saying? Put him in a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
he works. And that dude, if y'all haven't watched Ratchet yet on Netflix, I'm telling you, he is a dick in that one.
He's in that show.
He is a classic. Yes, classic.
I'm on it.
It's classic 50s, 60s chauvinistic asshole.
He's a good actor.
Just a total
good actor.
Yeah. That dude shows his range. What?
Yeah.
I don't understand why this dude doesn't have like multiple Emmys under his belt, because he's a phenomenal actor.
He really is.
And he's
he always has been.
Yeah, he's always been a good actor. So, all right. Well, we're gonna be wrapping the show up. Sandra Bullock This was our first blowout.
15-5.
15-5. Woo! She routed her. She routed.
Sorry, Julia
Roberts. Wow. I thought it'd be closer than that. I didn't think it'd be that bad. She routed Julia Roberts 15-5.
Well, that's what you get for being the ex-wife movie. See, don't be the favorite. Don't let Julia Roberts be your. If you're an ex-wife out there, you want Julia to win. Don't like her.
Oh no.
If you're a girl, don't be an ex-wife and like Julia Roberts. That's the story that you come away with tonight.
If you're an actress, you might win these battles if you do a scene with a black man. Sorry. Maybe if you would do the scene with, it could have been a little closer if you did the scene with Denzel. Just saying. Just saying.
So hey, apparently it was out of her hands. Yeah, so anyway, so next week we'll come back. We'll do another versus. I'm not sure which one. I think I was gonna come with I think I was gonna do Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. I think that was the one I was going with next. So
Scientology versus the cheater.
Yo, that's messed up.
That's foul, man.
Versus the cheetah. Yo, that's so messed up.
That is foul, man. I'm just saying.
Whole record. Yeah. That's wow.
Now, Brad the shit, as Mike Tyson said.
Here's my last line.
Go ahead, Kev. When you say
my last line for the night is, if you're gonna cheat, you gotta cheat like Brad Pitt did.
Yeah,
you leave Jennifer Aniston.
He upgraded
for Angelina Jolie. Yo, you straight. Yo, that wasn't even an upgrade. That was a lateral move. He just went straight to the left, like, whoo! He did the electric slide right to the left. I'm just gonna slide right over.
Yeah, man, that's a major move up. Like
you gotta upgrade, man. You have to upgrade. He upgraded. He upgraded. You know, because Jennifer Aniston, she became a movie star, but she started as a TV star.
Listen, but regardless of whatever, Jennifer Aniston's body is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's on point. She is fine, and her body is bananas.
Like that, bro. To after Brad left her. That's what.
That's true, man.
But see, hold on.
Rebound body right there.
Yeah.
No. See, the body was always there. See, nobody was paying attention to it. Nobody was paying attention to it because there was no need to be looking at it. It's like the girl in the hood who walks around with the nerdy glasses on. Everybody knows she's cute, but ain't nobody really checking for her because she got some nerdy glasses on. But as soon as she turned like 18, 19 and head off to her first year at Howard, and then she come back home after eating some biscuits and KFC, she comes back to town. Like, oh, god damn, girl, what you done did? Look at you.
Cornbread and collard greens. So, I think that'll be a good one. Him and Tom Cruise.
I'm gonna ask both of you guys. I had asked this question. I put it on my Twitter page. It said, because I like Jennifer Aniston. I mean, when I saw her in what's the one? Just Go For It, where she I was like, Lord. But she's in Horrible Bosses. If Jennifer Aniston was your boss, and she kept coming on to you like she does in we
fucking.
Yeah, that's what I said too. Okay. Like, would you really turn her down? Nah.
No.
No.
Yeah, she was good.
Listen, turned it around, call it sexual harassment. I don't care what you call it. I smashed. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god. Yeah,
I will take the pink slip. You hear me?
I tell you right now, she definitely, to me, after the whole Brad Pitt thing, that was that revenge rebound body, yo. She really got it into shape. She's always been, but I mean, like, I never, like, in Friends, I was like, I didn't really watch Friends anyway, but still, I was just like, she's all right.
some of those early Jennifer Aniston rom-com movies, you was like, nah.
I'm like,
no, just Rachel. But like I said,
like Horrible Bosses, when she's
just go with it.
And
like, Lord,
even We're the Millers. I mean, it was great in that. So I'm just like, okay, Jennifer, she's on that. Okay,
listen,
now watch this.
Listen, I
always
thought it. I always like Brad. Listen, I always was like, Brad, you stupid, but you ain't stupid. That's like Eric Bonet. Eric Bonet and Halle Berry broke up, but that chick he got with after the fact, that chick he with now, woo, Lord have mercy.
Ain't he with the chick that used to be with Prince? Ain't he with her?
I think so. Yeah, they got a kid together.
Manuela, or whatever her name is.
Whatever that chick's name is, boy, she is bad. Like
yeah, I see. Yeah,
that's the one who used to be with Prince. Used to be married.
Prince's ex-wife.
Yeah,
Manuela.
Yeah. She was the one.
Yeah, that's the one that Prince lost the baby. He lost the baby with.
No, he lost the baby with Maite.
Oh, that's right. No, with the other girl. That's right. Yeah,
who was even badder than her.
Yeah.
So, Manuela. Yep. Yes, that's who he's with now. But still, I'm sorry, Eric Bonet.
I want to be like them when I grow up.
I still got to quote Jay-Z. Never go Eric Bonet.
But go Eric Bonet. Never go Eric Bonet, but go Eric Bonet.
Baddest chick in the game get away. That's what he said. Never go Eric.
Listen, but Eric wasn't crazy because Holly is crazy. So Eric was doing what he needed to do.
That's still a great line though. That was a great line.
It is. It'll always be a great line.
It's always a great line because at that time, no matter what people, you found out later that Holly must be crazy. But the bottom line is he literally. Remember, at that time when he was dating her, she was literally labeled the baddest woman in the world, the most beautiful woman.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was.
That's what he meant.
I see Maddie in the chat room saying, "Damn, I was the nerdy girl in the hood. Why y'all exposing me?" Really?
Listen, Maddie, because I'm only telling the truth about y'all. I saw y'all. I saw y'all for what y'all was.
I saw him too. I got you on that. I agree. So next week we'll come back and do Brad Pitt, the cheater, versus Reverend Scientology. The good Reverend Dr. Scientology.
Deacon. Well, we gotta call him. We gotta call him Deacon Pitt because the deacons is always the one that's slipping and sliding up and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna call him Deacon Pitt. Versus Deacon Pitt versus Reverend Cruz.
Yeah, Reverend
Deacon Pastor Cruz. Pastor Cruz and Deacon Pitt. Pastor Cruz and Deacon Pitt. That's what it is.
Mr. Scientology himself. All right. Jumping on the couch and all that other stuff, right? But we're gonna see that. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be tough to put down that 20.
I'm sorry, but even after all these years, Tom Cruise still need to be knocked for that jumping on an open couch like he had no home training.
I'm gonna end it on this because we gotta end this show. I never ever. Oh, Heaven Hollywood, what's up, brother? Sandra Bullock ran away with it. Score was 15-5. A landslide. I did not expect that. She routed Julia Roberts. So the score ended up being 15-5. Yeah. I never had a problem with the whole Tom Cruise jumping on the couch thing. I thought they made too much out.
Good. Listen, he got a good woman. He was getting good box. She was throwing that head game on him. Had him all whipped up. And you doing Scientology? What you expect? He just found his religion. He's like a newborn in Christ.
But still, you doing that on somebody else's couch. You doing that on somebody else's couch, like Rick James. No, we got to whip his ass. Got to beat his ass.
Ralph.
I never thought. I never saw that being such a big deal. He jumping on old couch. He was just excited. He's a little guy. He could jump over.
And you know, did y'all notice this about Tom Cruise? That every time his wives did a Batman project, they wound up leaving him. Nicole Kidman was in Batman Forever. She walked down. Then Katie Holmes did Batman Begins, and then she broke up with Tom. Like I'm sure whoever Tom Cruise was around saying, no, you're not doing nothing.
No Batman movies. You do no Batman.
No superhero movies. That's probably why he hasn't been in one.
Maybe he's got a vendetta against superhero movies. So
no, he don't, because he's probably going to be Iron Man. And remember, he was supposed to be the first Iron Man.
He's supposed to be the first Iron Man,
but he wasn't, was he?
Yeah,
he was. But he may be coming back. Kevin Feige may be pulling him back in the Multiverse of Madness.
I'd rather if Tom Cruise. Hey Tom, if you're listening, listen, man. You haven't really done one of these in a while, but I want you to take the Les character from Tropic Thunder and create a movie around him. Let's give me a comedy.
Yeah, that'd be funny though. He was funny.
We haven't seen Tom Cruise in a straight comedy.
I ain't gonna lie. When I saw, I didn't even. I had to be almost an hour into that movie before I even figured out that was Tom Cruise. I didn't even.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I was like almost maybe 40 minutes into that movie before I figured out that was Tom Cruise.
I didn't realize it at the end.
Yeah, at the end, I'm like, oh crap, that was Tom Cruise. So next week we'll do Tom Cruise versus Brad Pitt. Everyone will definitely big up to everybody that held us down, of course. Joseph Tanner, of course. Maddie, thank you. Heaven Hollywood, appreciate you dropping by. Everybody else that came through. And we'll see y'all next week with the verses. Like a final score: Sandra Bullock 15, Julie Roberts 5, and a route in our first route of the verses, the movie verses. But I'm loving this movie versus. We're gonna keep this going next week with Brad Pitt versus Tom Cruise.
Not for nothing. Now we should. I see Joseph asked. He said, "Why don't we do like a versus of like horror characters? Like maybe we should do like a real Freddy versus Jason and stack them up to each other. Like which who was really scarier, Freddy or Jason?"
I think really the only quick answer for me is the only movie. There's only two Nightmare on Elm Street movies that were scary to me. The first one and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Those were the ones to me that were actually scary. The rest of them were, to me, a little too much comical, and it has some decent kills. Too comical. To me, if you're just gonna go straight scary, I would say Jason probably would be a little more scary because he didn't talk. That's number one.
If anybody who saw that last Friday the 13th, that was.
Oh man,
that was
that first 20 minutes of the last Friday the 13th movie was like damn, and it just went to like I said Friday the 13th. I was like, yo, they do the whole movie this way, I'm hooked. But no, they didn't.
Heaven Hollywood said Michael Myers versus Norman Bates. Michael Myers is to me is always going to be the scariest person on television, in my opinion. He's always the scariest. He once again another one who doesn't talk, and he's the scariest. He's the scariest to me.
What about Michael Myers versus Jason? Like the what if?
Yeah,
what two of them went like toe to toe? They both got
Michael Myers, again. Michael Myers wins because Michael Myers is.
But does he? But does he?
From hell.
Does
he? That's the question. Does he? Does he really win?
Michael Myers mask scares the hell out of me. But I mean, as far as him facing off versus Jason, that'd be a good one. But they both hella strong. And Jason is like damn near supernatural strong though.
Jason keeps coming back after he's being drowned. He keeps coming back. You're like, no,
Myers does too, though. Myers was blown up.
You know what? I'll tell you who wins. Jason actually wins because out of all of these guys, like out of all of them, the only two people that I've ever had a nightmare about, that I've ever had night terrors about being chased, was Godzilla and Jason. Those are the only two horror characters.
You gotta remember in the early Friday 13th, Jason actually ran. He didn't. Nope. He was running in the first one, in the second one. The first one he appeared in.
Yeah,
he was
right.
running after them. Like, Michael Myers never ran; he always walked. Which to me just made it even scarier. It was like, oh, I'm not even wasting my breath. I'm gonna catch your ass. Don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You can run all you want. First of all, you're white. You're gonna fall. Second of all,
but here's what was scary about Michael Myers, and I know we gotta go. What was scary about Michael Myers was it didn't matter where you ran to. It was like, how did he get there?
Yeah,
like
he just showed up.
Like
And
I
he got
like the
those
way
heavy-ass
I
boots
like the
on,
way they
too.
explained it with Jason. I like the way they explained it with Jason with
they
the
explained
tunnel.
it with that last Friday 13th about how he knew the camp and they had the underground tunnels or whatever.
Tunnels,
in the camp.
yeah.
And it kind of made sense. They kind of tried to make sense of it, and I get to kind of take it. That was basically trying to take away the cliche of the
supernatural.
The supernatural him just always popping up where you were. Like I said, I think it's been when you really break down with Michael Myers, though, it's never really been where they were running, he's behind them, and then he pops up in front of them. It's just the fact that, they would run and try to hide and something like that. And remember, they would run and hide and probably run into a body and then give away their location because they scream at the top of their lungs. It's like, oh, I'm hiding in the closet. And you turn around and somebody's swinging, hanging, the body swinging for you. Ah! So now you know where he knows where you are now. You just scream. So it's like he used to kill people and hide bodies everywhere. So you start finding them bodies and he know where you are. So
all right,
I got to
we got to go. Last question.
Yeah.
When they end up doing Spider-Man 3 or any Spider-Man and they end up doing a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, should they go with Otto Octavius or should they go with Olivia Octavius, the female Doc Ock?
I'm not really. I don't really care for either. I mean, I don't care which way they go with it. I would like to see Otto Octavius again, but I'm thinking with today's climate, they'll go with the female one. But I'd like to see. I'd like to see Otto again. I would like to see Otto Octavius again. Done. But they'll probably go with the female one. I would think. So all right.
I got one last what if. Right? Who? Michael Myers or Predator?
Michael Myers or the Predator? You said?
Yeah,
well, the Predator would find a way to incinerate Michael Myers with all them weapons he got.
No, but think about it. Like near the end of the first Predator, I mean, he did take on Arnold Schwarzenegger hand to hand. He did. So what if he did the same thing with Michael Myers? Like, could he beat Michael Myers?
Well, I don't know if that would have been smart if he do that with Michael Myers. He might get
and listen, Michael Myers ain't alive, so Michael Myers don't have a heat source, so he can't use that.
That's true.
So if he would have took off his armor and dropped all his weapons in the name of honor, and he want to fight Michael Myers hand to hand, I don't know if that would be a smart move. Michael Myers might actually beat the Predator in that aspect. The Predator used his weapons, he'd beat him. But
he beat him quick.
He beat him much quicker. But if he did like what he did with Schwarzenegger, Michael Myers is a beast, man.
He's beating that ass. He's gonna grab him by the throat, lift him up in the air with his feet dangling.
Yeah, and then turn his head like this, looking at him.
He turns his head like Captain Kirk mask, like.
So, all right, y'all, we out of here. Thanks, everybody. We'll check y'all next week. Peace out.
Deuces.
Deuces.